very heavy.
Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hey, y'all, welcome and happy Thursday. It's your boy, Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show we basically talk about all things happening in pop culture and hot topics. So if that is a show for you, definitely stick around because we have quite a few tea topics to spill today, including we got to talk about that Avengers Doomsday trailer, which hit. Um, it made big numbers. Plus, we also got to talk about Marvel. Kevin Feige's on the little promotional, situation, and said that there may be a Miles Morales live action movie in the mist. I'll give my overall thoughts about that. Plus, I got the ratings of the World Cup final. So for those who out here saying that people don't really particularly care for the World Cup and soccer and stuff, trust and believe there is a big audience out there for that. Plus, Snoop Dogg has a biopic coming to our theaters next year, so we'll talk about that. Plus, Whoopi Goldberg is going in on a lot of these trolls on social media who have an issue with Elliot Page being cast in the Odyssey, so we'll get into that. Plus, we got Elon Musk getting dragged by Colman, Domingo, and director Scott Derrickson, so I have those comments about that. Malcolm-Jamal Warner's widow is suing his mother because she said she out here struggling to take care of herself and her child, and she ain't getting money that she feels like she's owed out of the marriage since her husband drowned last year. So we'll get into that. Plus, child, Cardi be out here comparing herself to Britney Spears, saying that she's getting a lot of the scrutiny that Britney was getting throughout her career. I'm like, girl, no, you please. I got thoughts on that. Plus, we got to talk about Brandi Glanville, who somebody find this bitch a muzzle. Because she running around here talking about her kids are boring because they haven't put booger sugar up their damn nose. So, and then we have speaking of booger sugar, we got the latest on Wendy Williams. How you doing? And the fact that that settlement that was occurred between Sabrina, her guardian, where she was going in and there was like a legal dispute between her and the documentary that she did over there on A&E, and I think it was Lifetime too. So we'll get into that. Plus, speaking of industry stuff, the FCC, who are clearly up this shitty president-in-chief's ass, wants to basically put labels on LGBT TV shows. So if there's anything with any queer content of that sort of matter, they want to put a warning on it, like this is Tipsy Gore back in the day doing the Surgeon General and all that mess. Or the parental advisory, what they put on the CDs. So now they want to put it on homosexual content and trans content or anything part of the Levitical Plus community. So we'll get into that. Plus, we got to talk about the drama going over there at Big Brother. Apparently, MMA fighter is under attack for making homophobic and dragphobic comments against Selena as titties. We had Frankie Grande, a bunch of people on social media jumping in on the conversation. We got a lot of homosexual drama. We got to talk about, speaking of drama, we got to talk about that Mistress Isabel Brooks drama between her and Sasha Colby. We got to get into that. Plus the drama of, should drag queens be required to have to dress up in full drag regalia every time you see them out and about? So if they go on red carpets, if they go on whatever else besides what they do, like if they're performing, should they be obligated to be on the red carpets and stuff in full-on drag-ish? So we'll get into that debate because Monet Exchange came out and said some stuff, and a bunch of others who are weighing in on this whole situation. So yeah, before we get to those topics, please do me a solid, hit that like button, subscribe, smash the notification bell, hype the channel, do all the things to help this show get pushed out there to out in the algorithmic universe. Please and thank you. All right. Child, with all that foolishness up in here. Talking about some damn tops, bottoms versus sides. He said the building in the back looks like, well, first of all, I don't live in Brownsville, so you tried it. Onyx is in the building. Clearly, he's calling your ass a bottom if the patent leather pump fits. He said, trust, I know. Not you trying to spill my tea, child. And before any of y'all try to come in my comments and talk about I'm late, there's a reason, because I literally was going to go on live on time. But then I'm sitting there looking at my watch like, why do I have so many freaking texts which was annoying me. And so then I happened to look, and bitch, they put out my schedule for next month in the garden. So, excuse me, excuse me. I'm gonna be busy. I ain't getting out one rush show, but I finally got one on the first. I'm doing 2 J. Cole concerts. I got 1 Hillary Duff. Who's the Red Clay Strays? I don't know who that is. I'm doing 2 Mumford and Sons because they're doing 3 nights. I'm doing 3 out of the 4 Olivia Dean shows. I'm doing 2 Jonas Brothers shows, and I'm doing 2 Harry Styles. So, bitch, I'm gonna be busy for the month of August. So, I'm looking forward to that. But anyway, let me hit my banner and let me not be out here spilling my business. Oh wait, hold on a second, because I just realized I had some stuff on, so I had to close that out. Let me close this out. All right, y'all. So now let's get into our first topic without further ado. And let's talk about the Avengers Doomsday trailer. So, the beginning of the week, Monday, the Avengers Doomsday trailer came out. It did gangbusters. I was saying, like, why didn't they just release the trailer, like the teaser, the one that we just saw? Because that just came out around CinemaCon. So I was like, why didn't they just release this teaser back in April, like shortly after they showed it at CinemaCon, and then right around now, because Comic-Con is coming up this week, we could have gotten like a real big major trailer. But then someone also said the one thing they don't like is the fact that when y'all start releasing these teasers and stuff too early, and then y'all come out with way too many trailers, and then it becomes the norm where y'all start to reveal too much. I think that's what might be happening with Spider-Man Brand New Day. Speaking of which, let me put that up because that's also tied into this story. So I think that's also what's maybe affected Spider-Man Brand New. I know I already know they released, I think it was today or yesterday. I'm not necessarily sure because my days is blurring. There was a lot going on. But they released another trailer for Spider-Man Brand New Day, even though the movie comes out next week. And I haven't watched it. I heard people commenting on it. My thing is this. My mind's already made up. I got my ticket. I'm going to go see it when it comes out. I don't need to see any more teasers. I don't need to see any more trailers unless it's against my will. Like I'm in a movie theater, which they showed the recent trailer to Spider-Man Brand New Day yesterday when I went to go see the Odyssey. And I'm going to get into my story about my overall thoughts on Odyssey when I get to that Odyssey topic. But they showed the trailer for another trailer for it yesterday. And it was like, okay, this is like I'm gonna see it regardless. So I don't need any more trailers. I don't need any more. Y'all don't have to come out with 5 or 6 commercials to remind people to go see a movie that's already got a lot of people locked in to go see it anyway. So I just don't see why they do that. So I totally understand on that part why they said don't be, we don't need so many damn trailers and stuff for the Avengers. But the fact of the matter is we've been kept in the dark for so long on what we could be expecting for this movie. It's like, of course, we're just hungry for any little thing. So a whole lot of people apparently, with that being said, a whole lot of people were curious about the whereabouts of the Avengers. And now the first Avengers trailer has been viewed a staggering 503 million times over 24 hours. Well, I did watch it about 4 or 5 times, so I may have contributed to that. That ranks for the second biggest movie trailer launch of all time, behind Sony's upcoming Marvel adventure, Spider-Man Brand New Day, with 719 million views. Which, shout out to y'all too, because y'all been able to keep secret who Sadie Sink is, even though I think we all know who she is. But they've been real good at keeping her hidden in the commercials, like she's a blinking you miss it, or she's barely in the commercial, or not in it at all, and people are still out here speculating who she might be. So good on y'all for keeping it a secret. But it'd be interesting to see if this week if they actually do a unveiling of any of the X-Men during the San Diego Comic-Con Disney panel, or MCU panel. But if they do that, I would say, like, don't even reveal the full cast. Just do your, if Magneto's in it, but from what I've heard, the rumors, he's not. Just do your hero and your villain. So who's playing Charles Xavier? Who's playing the big bad? So if it's Mr. Sinister or whoever else, just have them two come out and that's it. The rest of the cast, y'all wait until after maybe D23 or after the whole thing is out, but I would wait till D23 because that's another Disney thing and that's next month. So they said it's also Disney's most viewed trailer in history, beating out the studio's 2024 superhero epic Deadpool and Wolverine Super Bowl teaser with 365 million views, including the broadcast. Now, Disney and Marvel Studios kicked off the Avengers Doomsday marketing last December with the launch of 4 teaser trailers. The official trailer launched July 20th, several days ahead of Marvel's Comic-Con presentation, where the latest Avengers tentpole is expected to have a major presence. So it'll be cool to see what they come up with and all of that whole situation, like how they're going to present all the information. I'm still a little irritated over the whole failure of Blade situation, but it is what it is. But this is to be expected. Like we people have been hungry for this whole Avengers Doomsday thing since we heard y'all were filming it. I mean, you brought the Russo brothers back, who did their thing with 2 Captain America movies and all, what was it, Civil War and oh my god, I always forget the other one that they did, but they've done 2 Civil War movies. Well, 2 Civil War. They've done 2 Captain America movies, and they've done the 2 Avengers movies. Now they've done 2 more. Well, they've done 1 more. They're going to do another one, which would be Secret Wars. So bringing that back has got a bit of nostalgia, and they're like, okay, we're bringing these guys in because we saw what they did with the previous films, and that maybe that's a way to bring back the fandom who kind of lost faith in us because we lost faith in ourselves and we kind of lost our way. Then you got the little nostalgia bait by bringing back Steve Rogers, if that's Steve Rogers, and now we got Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom, and you got Thor, and you got all these other greatest hits of characters and stuff. So we're already locked in with that. I just hope that the story doesn't suck. So that's what I'm just hoping about that. And I'm looking forward to seeing Spider-Man next week. So I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to do in December because both movies are coming. Well, Dune and Doomsday is coming out on the same day. And I'm trying to figure out, like, am I going to have to like black out a day so that way I can use that opportunity to go to like spend the day at the movies and just watch Dune first, Dune 3 and Doomsday. I don't know which one. Because to be honest, I haven't even gotten my Doomsday ticket. I was trying to get one online and it's been hard to get a ticket because when I will go to the Lincoln one and the 34th Street, because those are the only 2 theaters I do in the city, it was hard. They said almost full. And I'm looking, I'm like, you don't see tickets. You can't purchase tickets. So it was just, and this is on the AMC app. So I don't know if there was issues with the app, that there was too many people in there trying to buy tickets, whatever the case is. But anyway, for me, I'll just wait until the end of the year and just get a ticket around that time. It's no sweat off my nose. I'm not one of these people that's got to be like, oh, I got to buy advance tickets right now because who knows where the hell I'll be at the end of the year. So I got a list. I'll buy a ticket. Just like next week, I wanted to see Spider-Man Brand New Day in IMAX or Dolby, whatever. It was hard to get tickets there. So I'm like, fuck it. I'll just go into a regular theater. I'll watch it. I've seen it. So now the next time when I want to go see it, when the momentum's died down and everybody went to go see opening weekend, I'll buy a ticket for a Dolby or an IMAX when it's not so packed and everybody done seen it already. And I can really sit and enjoy the movie because I already know what's in it. I know what's coming. So now I can actually relax and really take in everything and enjoy it. The cinematography and the sound design and all that other stuff. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding Avengers Doomsday and, the amount of numbers that it hit for their trailers? Anybody surprised by this? I mean, quiet as it can, but I'm not surprised at all. I don't think anybody should be. I mean, unless you're dead, blind, and dumb. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Excuse me. When I open up this little entering the studio, I gotta open up this little window. You said which female character you talking about? What are you talking about? Oh, you talking about Sadie Sink? Well, a lot of people believe that Sadie Sink is playing Jean Grey in the upcoming X-Men, but I don't know what's going on with her character, but I do believe that well, a lot of people, including myself, do believe that she is playing Jean Grey in Spider-Man, and then they're going to introduce her, and that's when the X-Men is going to come down the road. So we'll see if that's who she's playing, or unless she's going to be playing somebody else. But yeah, they've been keeping it secret for a minute. Drag Race stars threatening to sue Nancy Mace for defamation. They should, because Nancy Mace is an ugly. See you next Tuesday. They said, "Hello, are you excited?" I mean, yeah. I thought. Well, I guess you probably asked this while I was running my mouth, but yeah. for me talking about it, yes, but I am excited to see the movie. I mean, based on what I've seen so far, I'm excited to see the film. I feel like this is the first time we actually going to see Spider-Man be Spider-Man, because one of the things that always irritated me about the previous movies is that I always felt like Tom Holland, even though I think Tom Holland is the best actor they've chosen to play Spider-Man and Peter Parker. The problem is I just felt like he was stunted by the writing and people behind the scenes where y'all just didn't want him to fully flourish and be his own man outside of, oh, he got to be paired up with Iron Man and he got to be paired up with this one and this one. So I like the fact that in this movie it's like Spider-Man all grown up. That's what it's giving. And then he's going to encounter all these different, you know, superheroes or whatever. I mean, I also like, yeah, technically he is partnering. There's going to be a big fight with the Hulk, and we finally going to see the Hulk as the Hulk, because y'all been kind of treating him like a little bitch too in these movies, which has kind of annoyed me. But I like the fact we're also getting the Punisher in this one as well, because I always liked John Bernthal. I mean, even though I liked Ray Stevenson, may he rest in peace, I thought aesthetically he was the best Punisher, even though that movie he was in was terrible. I will say that I love John Bernthal. Well, I love me some John Bernthal, period. But John Bernthal is, in my opinion, the better Punisher. I still haven't even watched the little movie that they threw up on Disney Plus. I got to get around to watching that. I listened to that song Camera yesterday when I was on my way to the movies to see, and I was like, oh, this is cute. You know, my only issue with this is like, girl, can we move beyond the minute and 30-second fucking songs? Like, y'all getting on my nerves with this. It's like the songs aren't even 2 minutes. Like, what is this shit? It feels like I'm listening to a commercial, a jingle. That's so the songs being too damn short, y'all irritate me with this. But I mean, I'll listen to the record when it comes out, of course. I also am looking forward to Arca's new album, which is titled XXXXX. Groundbreaking. Um, and I know she did a live stream before I went live. I haven't watched that. I just made sure to put it up in there. But yeah, I know Shania Twain got a new album coming out. She's been doing the promotional circuit. I think she also did an interview with Rolling Stone, if I'm not mistaken. But I saw that earlier. But anyway, let's get back into the show, y'all. And let's talk about, speaking of Spider-Man, let's talk about Spider-Man. So y'all already know we're getting Spider-Man Brand New Day coming out next week. We're all excited for it. I'm pretty much excited about it and everything. But one of the things that I noticed a lot of the fandom has wanted for a long time, even though we have Miles Morales in animated form, and we love the animated movies. I love all the animated films that they came out with. When is that next one coming out is what I want to know, because they keep moving the thing and there's always some drama. I haven't been keeping up with it. But I mean, the release date on the next one. But one of the things that a lot of the fandom wants to know is, will we ever get to see a live action version of Miles Morales on the big screen? And so Kevin Feige has spoken about it. And here's what the sitch is. So, as you know, the first trailer for Avengers Doomsday has been viewed a staggering 503 million times over 20. Wait, did I forget the close? Yes, I did. I'm reading my previous article. I am a fool. Anyway, let's get back into it. So, there's a scene, as they said, in Spider-Man Brand New Day that comes out on July 31st. But they said that this scene that's in it made people think of Miles Morales, the Afro-Latino teenager from Brooklyn who's destined to become a superhero web-slinger like Peter Parker. The character is currently the star of the animated Spider-Verse movies from Sony Animation, voiced by Shameik Moore, but Marvel Studios head Kevin Feige says he's thinking about a live-action version of Miles for the MCU, saying you can't think about the future of Spider-Man and not think about Miles for sure. This is what he tells Entertainment Weekly in an interview with Spider-Man movie producer Amy Pascal. Mainly, I'm thinking about enjoying in Beyond the Spider-Verse and Amy's next movie. After that, it'll be very interesting to see where Spider-Man should go. Now, Moore first voiced Miles Morales in 2018 Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. The film's popularity led to the sequel, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and now Moore will return to the role again for next year. Okay, so now they're going to tell us the date, but I better not move it. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, which is going to come out in June 18th, 2027. Now, the MCU, however, has been teasing the future arrival of Miles, who also now a main character in the best-selling Marvel's Spider-Man video games from Insomniac. And as y'all know, that Donald Glover appeared in the Tom Holland-led Spider-Man Homecoming as Aaron Davis, who's the uncle of Miles Morales. Glover then appeared in Across the Spider-Verse as as the rare live-action actor to portray Aaron's villainous alter ego, the Prowler. Now, in Spider-Man No Way Home, when characters and actors from different sectors of the Spider-Man multiverse collided, Jamie Foxx's Electro says somewhere there's bound to be a black Spider-Man. Now, in a separate interview with China's Watching Hollywood press outlet, Feige confirmed, yes, we definitely have plans for a live-action Miles, and I think a live-action Spider-Man movie has this destiny to add Miles sometime after the Spider-Verse series ends. But first, here's what we got to do. Excuse me, is focus on Spider-Man Brand New Day. And I definitely think when Tom Holland is ready to step down and move on to bigger man, because I don't think he wants to play Spider-Man forever. He's already transitioning into other roles. He did a great job, with in the Odyssey. He's about, now he's on the promotional front. I think he might still be doing. I don't know if he's still doing the Odyssey promotion. But I know he's currently shooting. I mean, he's currently doing Spider-Man Brand New Day promotions. But he was just on Kelly and her husband show and a bunch of others. And now he's about to go work on Fred Astaire. He's doing the biopic on Fred Astaire. He said he wants to do all the dancing. He wants to do it in one take, kind of like how Fred Astaire did it back in the day. Because remember, Tom Holland started out as Billy Elliot on the West End. He was a dancer before he became like this big movie star. So him giving that up to focus full time on acting, and now he's like, it's exciting, but also terrifying because he's a little rusty and it's been a minute since he's been out here performing that side of himself. So it's great to see that he's able to just jump in and do all these different things, and we'll get to see him as Fred Astaire. Me, I was not interested in a Fred Astaire movie, but seeing Tom Holland be a part of that, it's piqued my interest. So I might actually want to see that biopic. Now, in this whole situation, I do think that if you want to clean the palette of a Spider-Man movie without having to go off and recast yet another Peter Parker, white superhero, whatever, I do think that once this thing ends, take 2 years, focus on, okay, now let's look into the whole Miles Morales thing. It is a popular character, so if people want to come in here with they troll in, as they usually do with the woke this and that and the other, because they don't want to see a movie like this being represented, when y'all out here literally buying the video game and it's successful, and you're supporting and you've seen the animated film. So clearly there is an audience out here for Miles Morales. So why not go in that direction? Course change. And let's go in this different direction, and let's focus on this kid, and it'll have more of a vibe of we're going around into his world, and you're getting to see how that world is, and the people in the neighborhood and the culture and all that thing. And I think that's a perfect opportunity where you're talking about Afro-Latino culture and the fact that they, people who celebrate their blackness and their Hispanic culture, and seeing that played out in this film, similar to what we got from Black Panther and Wakanda, how they were celebrating being like full-on Africans with power and money and riches, and everybody was eating. And they had their politics and all other stuff too, but it was a well-cultured world. And to see that play out in this thing where you can get that real New York culture, sprawled throughout this thing, I really feel like that's a great opportunity to see that explored, as well as, now, who do y'all think should play Miles Morales? Because everybody's saying Shamik Moore. I don't know. He might be too old. I couldn't think of nobody, but the only person I was thinking about, I was like, wait a minute. I forget the kid's name. I think it's Renzi Felice is what his name is. He played Victor in the Penguin series. He kind of favors Miles Morales. I think he'd make a good one. He's a great actor. he'd have to train to do all the physical stuff. I mean, you could pretty much put a stunt person in the costume to be doing all the flips and the whips and the flying through the air and all that other mess. The technical crazy stuff. I mean, Tom Holland can do all that because that's a world he comes from. He knows how to do the aerialist stuff. He's a dancer, that sort of thing. But you could bring in a stunt person to do all the crazy stuff. But I think Renzi Felice, in my opinion, would be a great Miles Morales. But if y'all have any ideas on who will make a great Miles Morales, let me know in the comments, as well as what do you think of this story? Would you like to see Miles Morales finally grace our big screens? I mean, in a live action version, I definitely think it's due. I mean, I like the animated stuff, but I definitely feel like, of course, especially under this current regime, we definitely need some diversity out here. And why not show different stories of different cultures and different scenarios? Everything doesn't always have to be the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. As long as the script is good, as long as y'all not trying to hit us on the nose with some crack because y'all trying to fill a quota, which is why I have issue with when it comes to y'all trying to do a diversity thing. If you want to show diversity, be diverse, but don't try to do it in a way where, oh, y'all just trying to do it so you could just check off a box or fill a quota. Kind of like what I was saying before about the whole thing with Kim Petras when she was signed to a major label. Oh, you're the trans girl. I need you to go out and be the trans girl. You need to talk trans this and do this. It's like, no. Why do you have to make it more of a political thing? Now, if I want to express my transness and things about that world in my music, because it's something I want to do, then I'll do it. But don't force me into being the spokesperson for something because y'all trying to check a box and seem like y'all are, as they say back in the day, with it. We know what's going. We liberal, but you giving conservative. You don't understand how people are reacting in the real damn world. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Excuse me. Josh Homme of Heavy Metal Band worked on Faded Blue Jeans and Tanya Tucker. Yeah, he's from Queens of a Stone Age. I am a Josh Homme fan. So yeah, he's from the band Queen of a Stone Age. I'm beginning to think DC would be better as an animated film after the article I shared that movie fans wanted to go back to the 80s practical effects and go to the location. I don't know. I don't know if DC would be better as an animated film. I just think that the problem with DC is that there's too many damn cooks in the kitchen and people don't know necessarily what it is that they want. Like, what is the vision that you're trying to give us? What is the story you're trying to tell? I do think that people are revolting against AI. I mean, there was a thing I posted earlier. Neil Blomkamp, who y'all know did District 9 and a bunch of other films, he did a whole AI short film. And people are, of course, pissed off about it. I posted it on social media for y'all to watch if y'all wanted to. But and you know how I do. It's the post and the smart controversy to see what y'all gonna say. And it's like a sci-fi horror film that he went and made completely with AI, but he said the people and the voices are real. I'm like, well, if that's the case, why don't you just shoot it with real people? What's the point of doing a whole thing with AI because you're just trying to see what the technology is going to do, but then you want to use the voices and the likeness of actual human beings? It just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, but then I guess, who knows? Maybe people will be looking at AI as like the future of animation. Maybe that's the thing they're looking at. I mean, don't get me wrong. When I looked at the Odyssey and it showed like how practical everything was, I mean, that made me appreciate the film even more. All right. Okay, so let's get into our next topic. And let's talk about the World Cup. So the World Cup came and went, had its little controversies because a certain funky fat orange fuck was there, just ruined everybody's time. And was embarrassed himself standing up there trying to be in the picture for Spain. But shout out to my people because they just erase his ass from the damn photo like he didn't even exist. So that is the ultimate shame. So it's like you can sit and photo bomb and do all the other mess that you want. We're going, technology is a wonderful thing when it's used for good. And clearly, when they erase his wide ass from the picture, they used it for good. And the good thing was, they had him on the end. So in a way, you could kind of erase him and then put the full thing in the background and just make, like, if you need to crop and remove a body, you can remove the body. But also, if the little thing that they were standing on in the grass or whatever the case, you can always replicate that and make it seem like nobody was actually there. So you can, there's always tricks and stuff you can do with computers. So, but now let's get into the ratings aspect of the whole situation. So yeah, it broke ratings records for both Fox and Telemundo because that's who aired the situation. And you already know when you got two Spanish-speaking countries going up against each other, it's quite fitting that you would have it playing on Telemundo. So the biggest World Cup ever in the U.S. was fittingly capped by the most watched final match. Wasn't it also on Peacock? So they said Spain's 1-0 extra time victory over Argentina in Sunday's final match delivered a combined total of nearly 63 million viewers on Fox, Telemundo, and Peacock, with 62.8 million to be precise. That is well beyond every other record set in earlier stages of the tournament and more than doubles the 25.78 million who watched the 2022 final between Argentina and Spain, 16.78 million for Fox, 9 million on Telemundo and Peacock. That is crazy. So 4 years ago, they played each other. And this is the rematch. This is kind of, you know what this reminds me of? I'm telling you, this is the time for when to take out assholes. And I'm going to tell you why. This is reflective of the Knicks and the Spurs. Because remember, the Knicks and the Spurs went to the finals, I think it was like in the 90s when Jalen's father used to play for the Knicks. And the Spurs won. And the Knicks was out. Now here come decades later, and Jalen, along with the rest of the guys on the team, you know, Cat and OG and the rest of them, took us to the win. And the Spurs is out here looking like bitches, similar to Argentina. So this is the year of the bitches getting their just due. I just wish the big bitch in the White House would finally get his just due. But who knows when that'll happen. Because that man seemed to be Teflon at this point. So Sunday's audience was the largest ever in the U.S. by any soccer match by almost 70 million viewers. The U.S. team's loss to Belgium in the round of 16 was the previous high with 45.99 million views in both English and Espanol. Now, Fox's English language broadcast averaged 38.9 million viewers, 5.9 million more than the U.S.-Belgium match, and peaked with almost 51.7 million people watching from 5:45 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time as Spain sewed up its victory on a Ferran Torres goal in the 106th minute. The 38.9 million figure also includes some pregame coverage, as have its other ratings reports from the World Cup. For the match only, Fox's audience was 42.5 million. Now, the match only figure for Fox was more than all but two of its NFL broadcasts last season, the NFC Championship game and its Thanksgiving game. Now, Telemundo and Peacock's Spanish language telecast brought in 23.9 million viewers, breaking the all-time Spanish language record of 23.2 million, set 2 weeks earlier for the Mexico-England match in the round of 16. The semifinals also brought in big numbers, with Argentina's comeback to beat England scoring 28.3 mil combined viewers, 60.9 mil on Fox, 11.4 million Telemundo. Okay, this is just a lot of the stuff that I guess, okay, now it's getting boring. But I will say this. Now, speaking of all of this, I also want to give it up for the halftime, because while they said this is a one and done situation, thank God, because that halftime was a damn mess. 3 out of the 4 performers definitely saw a surge in their music. So shout out to Madonna. Shout out to Justin Bieber, as dry as that damn song was that he picked. And shout out to BTS, because them 3 was doing it what need to be done with the music. I guess Shakira is the queen of the halftime, because she got so many goddamn songs for the halftime. She ain't seen no surge. Everybody done heard Die. They did Die for real. So I think she the only one that didn't see a boost in the music. But everybody else pretty much, you know, saw some success with the music and got more attention out there. And this was smart on all their parts. It's like as dry as Justin Bieber has been with his stage performances, people are still generally interested in what it is that he's doing. You know, Madonna is definitely having a resurgence with her career, especially with the release of Confessions 2. And now she performed at the halftime situation. And now she's going to be gearing up to be doing other things, like Glastonbury. She ain't said it, but I feel like she's doing it. Probably some more promo tours for this record, like mini promo tours or whatever. And we should be getting the big tour sometime in 2027. So I'm looking forward to that. Child, quiet as it's kept, I'm looking forward to working it. Because at least this will be the first time I'll probably be this close to the Queen if I'm working on the floor, because they tend to put me on the floor more than any other, space up in MSG when I'm working these big major events. Like yesterday, I worked the first Fish show, which was crazy, but I was on the catwalk. So, and the catwalk is similar to what we do with the Knicks game. So that was like, I gagged. I'm like, really? But I did my job though. But anyway, so congratulations to I guess the soccer people, because y'all did y'all big one, y'all made y'all big coins and all this other stuff, and the ratings went through the roof as we knew it would, because it was between people watching at home, or also I was watching at work. Like I was in the break room, watching majority of the game. I saw the halftime, everything, even when it went into overtime. But then I had to leave, so I couldn't finish watching. So they still was 0-0 when I left. But I got the score of who won during roll call. So literally, if I didn't have to work for 10 more minutes, I could have saw it. So it is what it is. So yeah, we were watching it in the break room. There were watch parties all over New York City and stuff, and a lot of the sports bars and stuff. So yeah, the money was definitely pouring in, and people were getting it, because I walked past plenty of bars on my way to work, and I saw like the bars was packed. Like literally people was trying to get in them shits. So congratulations to all, and congratulations to Spain. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding the ratings and everything on the World Cup final? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. He said those racist Argentinian fans were calling the superior black players apes. Yeah, and I went through this whole debate online about how, there's racism everywhere. Don't get me wrong, Spain has had their issues with racism as well. One of my really close friends, Jovan Aviance, lives in Spain and tells me of things. I don't think he really deals with a lot, and he's dark skinned, so I don't think he deals with a lot of stuff going on with Spain. I may have to talk to him. I love his husband, because his husband would definitely educate me on like the real shit that was going on in Spain. Because I was sitting there like, oh no, they wasn't out here housing Nazis and stuff like like Argentina was. He said, actually, they kind of was helping out the Nazis and stuff back in the day. But then again, I think like if we're gonna look at both sides, whatever, yeah, Argentina, those people, y'all are racist ain't even the word that I would describe y'all. So there was a lot of that. So when there was a big debate on it on my page, I thought about getting rid of it, because I was like, oh, but I was like, no, I'm gonna leave it up. Let y'all continue to have that in the comments. None of those Spanish speaking channels called out those racist arguments, and I'm glad they did, as they should have. Argentina's team is also the only FIFA team with no black players, because they kicked all the black citizens out back in the 30s and told them to go to Colombia. Exactly. So don't cry for them. And in fact, laugh at them. They're all going to laugh at you. Yeah, they welcome Nazis, but I'm like, if it was really to look at it, I just feel like Argentina is probably way more racist than the Spanish. And yes, we know about colonization, and one person even tried to bring up, and it's funny, this is one person only likes to pipe up in my comments whenever they want to check me on some shit. Otherwise, I always say you just a fan lurking, and I can't stand people like that. Like, jump in conversations all the time. Don't just jump in when you trying to check me, or you thinking you checking me on some shit. So I don't know, even just saying something or another about Christopher Columbus. I was like, first of all, we don't even claim Christopher Columbus. I said, we let the Italians have his ass. They want to sit up here acting like Christopher Columbus was Italian when he wasn't. So I'm like, bitch, y'all can have his ass. So he was Spanish. He was not Italian. So tell these idiots that. Anyway. You said Mamdani didn't say crap. All he talks about is Palestinians, but didn't check those racists acting up in his town. Wait, I'm confused by this post. You talking about he didn't say crap about what? All he talks about is Palestinians, and what Palestinians he always talking about? Because all I see is every time they want to check, they want to try to catch him in an interview. They always want to talk about does Israel have the right to exist? Do Israelis have a right to protect themselves? That's all I've been seeing, and he's been finding ways to check their ass. Him and Abdul Al Sayed. Like they've been trying to come at them with these same tight ass Zionist talking points. So I don't know where you getting this tea. I mean, you might have to point it out to where you read this from. But I have not heard that all he talks about is Palestinian, because I literally just posted something on my Facebook page where that moron restaurant owner was trying to come at him again on some mess. Speaking of which, I see everybody out here. There's a big drama going on. There's a big drama going on about Nev Campbell not following people in the Scream franchise. I'm like, what? Wait a second. Oh, so Dave Portnoy, who's this moron? Because Zoran said wishing a peaceful Tisha B'Av, I guess that's how you say it, to Jewish New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs. From sundown tonight until tomorrow, mourners will pause and reflect on the history, whatever. So it cuts off. And then Dave Portnoy comes in and says, this fucking guy. Oh, so he's wishing Jewish people, happy whatever y'all is celebrating. But you got a problem with it because y'all just be looking for shit to bitch about. So this guy by the name of Bill Jubrin said, shut the fuck up, Dave Porta Potty. You're a big whiny crybaby I think you should have said you're a bigger whinier crybaby than Spencer Pratt. If he didn't say anything, you'd bitch as well. He was being respectful to Jewish people. Did Trump say anything like this? No, and he won't. So, that's literally where we are with that situation. You said T.S. Madison talked about the racism when she visited Spain and taxis would not pick her and her team up. I heard that story too. That she goes through that stuff over there as well. And it's unfortunate. So yeah, trust and believe. Spain got their racist shit that they be doing too. I was watching something, I don't know what it was. It might have been Instagram where this guy was like the most racist thing he ever experienced while going to Spain was he was sitting at a table. I think he said he was with, I don't know who he was with, but I think it was like his family or whatever the case was. Black guy. Sat at the table. Waiter came over to him, had the unmitigated gall to ask him if he could get up and give up their table for another couple that was coming in. First of all, if I got the table and I'm sitting there and eating, why the fuck I gotta give up my table for them people? They're gonna have to wait until I'm done. I mean, isn't that well, I was gonna say that's the policy in America, but clearly I guess in Spain because they're more aesthetically appealing. Like, you gotta be out your mind. And first of all, I'd be like, well, fuck y'all, and I'm not paying for this food. I mean, didn't he talk his way out of a trespassing ticket? And that is her son, and she is his lawyer. So he trespassed on a property, because he was jogging, which I find weird. Like, why are you jogging? First of all, I don't even like jogging. If I'm going to jog, I don't even do that. Jog in your neighborhood or whatever the case. Why are you jogging in like these unwarranted territories? He said the gate was open. I mean, if it said no trespassing on the thing, I would have been like, okay, then I wouldn't have went in. But a lot of times, if I'm happen to walk past something and my imagination's running, and I'm like, oh, I see something that I can use that can help as a weight for my workout, I'm gonna go grab it. But the gate was open, so he walked in. This is giving me Fox News tease in this comment. You said rescue a 24-year-old. I mean, rescue. Would you act like he was drowning? Anyway, let's get back into the show. And let's talk about Snoop Dogg. So, as y'all know, look, everybody's still obsessing over Michael Jackson. In fact, did $1 billion at the box office. So you already know more biopics might be coming from some of y'all fave musicians. One of them happens to be coming from Snoop Dogg. So we finally got a release date on when this movie will be coming out. And the guy on the left is who's actually going to be playing Mr. Calvin Brodus Jr. when the movie starts filming. I don't even know if it started filming. So They said the studio announced, and that would be Universal's Pictures. Wait a minute. You want to know what the budget for this movie is? Because wasn't Universal going to do the Madonna biopic? But y'all greenlit a Snoop. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love me some Uncle Snoop, but I want to know what the budget for this movie is. Now, anyway, so they said the studio announced Tuesday that Snoop is set for theatrical release on August 6, 2027. Jonathan Davis, that's with two S's, known for his role on the Netflix series Outer Banks, is set to star in the movie that will depict Calvin Broadus Jr.'s eventful path to fame as hip-hop icon Snoop Dogg. Now, Craig Brewer, Song Sung Blue, Hustle and Flow, helms the film, and okay, you already had me a Hustle and Flow. I'll definitely be watching because of that. Helmed the film and revised a script that had an initial draft from Joe Robert Cole. Producers include Snoop Dogg, Imagine Entertainment's Brian Grazer, and Death Row Pictures president Sarah Ramaker. This will be, well, thank God Suge ain't gonna be a part of it because he in prison. Now, this will be the first project through Death Row Pictures' overall deal with NBC Universal Entertainment and Studios. Now, Snoop Dogg, as y'all may or may not know, is a 17-time Grammy-nominated artist who has become a television and film mainstay. His debut album, Doggy Style, Bound in 1993, I know, and from Death Row Records encounters Dr. Dre as a soul producer, spawning the hit singles What's My Name and Gin and Juice. Don't forget, 1, 2, 3 until the 4. Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre is at the door. Don't forget my song. And he said, Universal's previous movies about notable hip hop artists include 2015's Oscar-nominated Straight Outta Compton, which surpassed $200 million at the global box office and features Lakeith Stanfield as Snoop. Here's the thing: I haven't seen Straight Outta Compton in a minute. I may want to revisit that. But I feel like some people, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe that when Straight Outta Compton came out, some people felt like it was a little watered down. I'm hoping that we don't get that from the Snoop movie. Like, I really hope that we get warts and all, like the full on how Snoop was back in the day, because Snoop was not he was not the black Mr. Rogers like he is today. He wasn't all wholesome and stuff. Like, Snoop was into some shit. He even went on trial because he allegedly red roomed somebody. I remember that whole situation that went down at the Source Awards. So them getting into all of that, I think will be relatively interesting. And then, like, trying to see how his relationship with his wife while the meteoric rise to fame happened and all that other stuff. That'll be cool to see. Now, Davis, who appeared in the Netflix feature Do Revenge, joined Snoop on the stage at CinemaCon earlier this year to tease the film's progress. Said, after my brothers got to tell their story with Straight Outta Compton, now it's my turn, the rapper told the crowd about Studios' NWA movie. My director, Craig Brewer, he just showed us how hard it is out here, really. How hard it is out here for a pimp from Hustle and Flow. And then last year, he got us all singing Sweet Caroline. Snoop added about the film. Excuse me. He said, my movie's going to be rated R. I guarantee that. So get your parents' permission. So yeah, he's saying he's not holding nothing back. Which is actually good, because if there's one thing I do not like, is that when y'all want to tell biopics on people and y'all want to tell like a piece of the story and make that the whole film, or water it down because you don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. But if Snoop said all bent, like the shackles is on, go ahead and tell the story how it need to be told. But of course, him being alive, he could tell this story and make sure that it's historically accurate. Now, the people that's going to come in and say whatever they're going to say once the movie is done, that's TBD, and we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But in the meantime, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing this movie when it comes out in August of 2027. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Are you interested in checking out a biopic on Snoop Dogg? I'm like, after this, can we still get the Madonna one? Because this is still Universal. They're just going to have to figure out how to, like, condense, I guess. I don't know. They got to figure out what the hell they're going to be doing with that Madonna biopic. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Universal Pictures was going to do an unauthorized biopic on Madonna, but she sued them, got them to stop. Obviously, it's not too expensive. They're just mad she made them pay her a lot of money. So why Madonna went to the same studio? That's what I said. That was just dumb on her part. Is that if you went and sued these people for making an unauthorized, that were going to make an unauthorized film on your life, why would you go to them? Like, if anything, I would have went to 20th Century Studios. I'd have went to Lionsgate. I would have went to anywhere else. Like, I think Lionsgate would still be the smart part on your end. I mean, they did the whole Michael Jackson one and made $1 billion. That's their first ever, I think, $1 billion film. So I would go to them. That is true. It's like if Warner Brothers Records has been your home, why didn't you go to Warner Brothers, the studio, and make your movie? And maybe it was because she wasn't tied to Warner Brothers at the time because, she didn't have the contract and everything. And there might have been a little bit of bitterness there because when she left Warner Brothers and went to Interscope and they did her dirty and then she came back and all that other stuff, maybe things weren't, but that's the thing with her. I feel like she's great at business sometimes, but also Miss Thing likes to hold grudges. And that could be, not a good detriment to her business at the end of the day. Because especially when there's not so many studios to pick from, because everything is monopolizing. I mean, you already see the drama that's going on with Paramount, Skydance trying to buy up every damn studio as it is. Hopefully, and I'm really hoping the situation that's going on now that they'll walk away because they're gonna bleed them dry. They're gonna bleed them literally out of money. They're gonna suck up all their money because this deal, I don't feel like all the antitrust laws and all that stuff. They're gonna be screwed. So I'm hoping that they bow out of that. But there's not so many studios left. So why put that stress on yourself? Anyway, let's get back into the show and let's get into some more controversy. One of them being, let's talk about the Odyssey. So the Odyssey is out already. It's made a crap ton of money. It's already surpassed Supergirl at the box office. But that's not saying much. That movie was not good. So I finally went to go see the Odyssey yesterday. Absolutely loved it. Thought it was a great film. Cinematography top notch. I know everybody's into the whole 75 millimeter and IMAX and all that stuff. I would have loved to have seen it that way. I went and saw it in Dolby, had a nice seat in the center, in the back, like I normally like to sit. Didn't have a lot of people around me. I mean, there was a lot of people in my row, but at least I had from where I was sitting, the seats on both sides of me was empty, which I actually like. So I had a good seat. 3-hour movie with the ads, which was fucking annoying. So it was like 3.5. Oh, wait. Also, that other mommy movie, bitch, let me tell you, that trailer scared the ish out of me. I didn't see the trailer like everybody saw it online. When I went to the movies and saw that trailer, I'm like, hell? With Jessica Chastain. That movie actually looks good. I'm going to go see that in the theater. But once the movie started, I was locked in. Didn't even have, and usually when I watch a movie and if it's long, I'll be having to run to the bathroom. I ain't run to the bathroom not once. I literally sat there the whole time. I had a coffee beforehand. From what did I have? A cold brew, a large from Dunkin' Donuts. And then beforehand, I just went to the concession stand and got me a large drink. Didn't I pee? Had to pee once. My bladder was doing me good that day. But I will say this. I did use the bathroom before I went, but sometimes you already know when you have to go to the bathroom and when you go to the bathroom before the movie starts and then your bladder is just like all of a sudden 10 minutes later, you got to go again and again and again and again. It's like you cleaning all yourself out. Well, apparently the good thing was I didn't have to go after I went that one time until after the movie was over. But nevertheless, enough of my urination stuff. So I watched the movie, enjoyed the film. I thought Matt Damon did a phenomenal job. I'm really hoping that he gets an Oscar nomination for playing this part. A lot of people getting up in arms online about historical accuracy. You dummies, it's a made-up tale. So what historical accuracy? The fact that we had Black people and Asian people and Indian people, you had a whole Benetton ad of different cultures up in this film fighting alongside Odysseus. And people are mad about it. I said, when you go to other countries, there are Asian people that speak Spanish. There are Asian people that have English accents. There are Black people that look different in all parts of the world. So yes, there are different races that are everywhere if you actually check your history. But white people who want to be upset about everything think everything got to be white. And everything has to be all about, white people always have to be the center focal point because that is what y'all have been given y'all entire life. You've had the red carpet laid out for y'all. And then the fact that you got to deal with people that are other and different than you, a lot of you can't take it. And in that case, this being Elliot Page. So they actually had the cast of the show on the other day. I think they had Anne Hathaway, who I thought did a great job as well. Anne Hathaway, Matt Damon, and Christopher Nolan, they sat on the panel. I did not watch their interview when they were on. I'm gonna try to check it out. Now that I've seen the movie, I can sit and watch all the Odyssey stuff. But so they were on and everybody's up in arms. And then even they decided to make a whole segment about corny ass Ben Shapiro, who apparently had a problem with Elliot Page being in the film. Elliot Page being in the movie as Signon, I think is how you say his name, was not an issue. In fact, I thought his scenes served the purpose. He's in the opening sequence. I'm not going to tell you what that is. It has something to do with Helen of Troy and presenting a gift to the people of Troy. And then there's another sequence when, in order for Odysseus to find his way home, he has to travel through Hades. I thought that scene was excellent too. I actually started crying during that sequence. I don't know what was going on. I was like, babe. And then the siren song, I got emotional during that. It was just so many great moments in this movie. The cinematography was off the chain. The practical effects was off the chain. Like how they built that horse, and the fact that and the ships and all that stuff being practical, and the big cyclops is the one-eyed cyclops, and then the giant sequence. And like, how did he do? I want to know how he did all that. And everybody's talking about CGI and all that stuff. They didn't use all that in that film. A lot of the stuff that he was doing was practical, and then adding it in and all that other stuff. So the costume design, the set design, this all the big props, and the fact that they threw all this money at him and he just did a phenomenal job. And look, Universal, they're gonna have a huge hit on their hands. It'll be interesting to see how long this lasts or whatever, because Spider-Man comes out next week. And so yeah, I should tell y'all that it has surpassed 300 million at the box office. And I hope that conservative critics are eating their words on this whole situation. So yeah, so Ben Shapiro came out and made some little snide comment that Elliot Page, he was puzzled, and that said that he's 5'2" and 105 pounds soaking wet and has the voice of a woman. So his role didn't work. And I'm sitting there like, sir, have you not watched back any of your videos and heard your voice? You don't necessarily sound like your balls have dropped either. So when you sit up here trying to read somebody, a trans man, on their voice, and let me tell you something, Elliot Page is more man than that funky nasal voice MFer will ever be. You could probably actually maybe you need to hit up Elliot and find out what form of testosterone he's using, and so you could shoot some of that in your ass, and maybe you'll get some bass in your voice, sir. So if you want to come out here and try to read a trans man who is more man than your gay can get his wife wet, have an ass, will ever be, if you want to read, sir, I got the reads for days. So with all that being said, y'all already know I love the Odyssey. I might come up with more things of what I thought about the film as it progresses. Oh, and funny enough, Elliot Page's character, their brother, is Robert Pattinson in the movie, who was an asshole to the T. Grade A villain, did a phenomenal job. So, and at one point there is a part in the film when Matt Damon comes back home. I mean, when Odysseus comes back home after being gone for so long because he had lost a sense of who he was, and he was eating the lotus flower and it was helping him forget, and how he was with Charlize Theron's character. To see all of that stuff play out was brilliant as well. I thought Lupita Nyong'o, she was also seen as a problem. I know people was making comments about her as Helen. I didn't have no issue with her character. I thought she was good in the role. Everybody served their purpose. I even like Zendaya. Zendaya was good in the film too. So everybody served their purpose. It's just these people out here just want to bitch and moan because they want to cause drama and they want to just create controversy where there isn't. So what we're going to do right now, if you have not seen it, because I haven't watched it either, is we're actually going to play this segment from The View where Whoopi Goldberg went in and let have on the conservatives for having an issue with Elliot Page being in the Odyssey. So we're going to watch that clip and we're going to come back and we're going to talk. Please hold.
Apparently, conservative critics are losing their minds over the cast of the Christopher Nolan epic, The Odyssey. They were doing that even before it came out, but now that it's #1 at the box office, some of them are still trashing the movie, but others, like radio host and podcaster Ben Shapiro, are giving credit where credit is due. Watch.
As a director, Nolan is unparalleled. He's the best director working today, without a doubt. He just creates iconic movie after iconic movie. I know a lot of people were like, oh my God, Lupita Nyong'o is supposed to look like Diane Kruger. I don't know, Diane Kruger doesn't look very Greek. She's German. So Lupita Nyong'o is a beautiful woman. There are a lot of conservatives who are getting whipped up about the film because it is stupid to cast Elliot Page as a dude. It's just stupid. But people on the right were saying, oh, the movie's going to bomb because of that. No, the movie's not going to bomb because of that. It turns out that when people want to be entertained, they're willing to entertain even bad flaws in the tooth if it turns out that the smile is nice.
Listen, a lot of conservatives who see this are going to feel the same way. That's okay. But I don't understand. If you feel like, why go see the movie? If you don't want to see it, then don't go see it. Why do you care who's cast in it? I don't understand this idea that if we hate it, everybody must hate it because we hate it for this reason. You don't like Elliot Page, don't go see the damn movie. Don't do it. Yeah. We will be okay if you don't go see it.
Yeah. Absolutely. And so I totally agree with her on that. Is the fact that, look, if I'm not interested in a film or a specific actor or whatever the case is, I don't go see it. I'm not going to put my money in the thing. But the fact of the matter is you got these trolls on social media who always want to be outraged about something, who always want to bitch for the sake of bitching. And it gives them a tingle in their taint. It's a way for them to get some sort of attention. So that's why they do it. And they want people to get outraged. And you know what? The cesspool that is Twitter is what welcomes that. So that's why they continue to create the mess that they do over there. So I agree with Whoopi on this. Now, do I care what the other ladies have to say? I guess since we're in it, we might as well just finish the video.
Twitter is not real life. So there was this huge...
Say that again.
Twitter is not real life.
Only 20% of the country
is even on it.
Child, how many times have I said that on this show, that the social media and Twitter and all that, that's the matrix. Now, when you're in the real world, people are a lot different than they are in the damn phones and on the computer and all that stuff.
Even on Twitter, and out of the 20% on Twitter, 80 of the Twitter trolls, 80% are the most active. So it's just a big...
I swear, watching this, you would think this is one of the worst films ever made. Newsflash, it is a masterpiece. This is a phenomenal film. It's blown records out. It's made tons of money, 264 million worldwide. But I would also argue this. There's a really good culture writer I like, Juan Carlos Sopo at National Review, and he argues it's actually, there's a real conservative message. It's about devotion to family. It's about faith. It's about upholding institutions. It's about how war is dangerous and has repercussions for all of us. And the fact that conservatives can't take the win and just be like, oh no, this is a really excellent film with a good message for like families, I'll never understand
Well, they're stuck on woke.
But there's nothing woke in this film.
There's a unique ignorance to someone who comments on something they've never seen. You're taught from a young age, do your research, learn, and then you can join the conversation. But it's like not voting and then complaining about what you get.
Girl, Trump did say he loves the poorly educated. So you're asking people to actually have critical thinking skills and to actually know how to read and know how to actually do research. Why would they do such a thing? Because these are the same people that think the Odyssey is actually real. They probably think what's in the Bible is real too. Wait till they find out that's a bunch of bull shit.
You cannot not see the film and complain about how awful it is when you haven't seen the film. Because this film, and I echo Alyssa, is a masterpiece. And the best part is, the more intimidating thing when I went to see it was, one, I hated the Odyssey, mainly because it was so hard to read.
Yeah.
And that eventually loses it. I'm like, never mind, I'll read John Grisham. But so there's that part. And also, anytime they put so many stars in one cast, I sometimes wonder if I'll be able to get sucked in. Minutes in, every one of those actors you think you know disappears.
Yeah.
And it becomes the Odyssey. It's brilliant.
I mean, I don't understand it. You know, I don't get why you have to poop on everything you don't get. I'll tell you that I'm going to keep saying this to you people until you understand it. 90% of America has never been asleep, okay? They have been working to feed their families. They have been trying to get an education. They've been trying to borrow money from a bank. They've been trying to do all the things that people try to do every day. You are the only ones who have been asleep because you seem to have woken up and be in shock that women don't want to hear that they're not entitled to their feelings, that women don't want to be told what to do, that Black people are not taking that anymore. Those days are done. Gay folks are saying, what are you talking about? We've been fighting this whole, where have you been? Y'all need to stay up. And y'all need to watch what happens when the world rights itself and people start doing their lives again, when they're getting respect from a government that they've put in place to make sure that everybody gets a fair shot. This is what we want. We don't care what you think about the movies. They're not real. Movies are not real. We are real. So please, get it together.
That's the most brilliant thing I've heard Whoopi say in a long time. Well, clearly she was locked into today's show. Because, you know, it's been a minute on Whoopi part where, you know, normally she'd just be sitting at that table just going through the motions. But anyway, so, yeah, I mean, I echo what a lot of what the ladies were saying at the table. Like, when you see the Odyssey, they're thinking about a Black woman in, as Helen of Troy and a trans man playing a male character who plays Odysseus's cousin in the film. And having an issue with that or whatever the case, because y'all don't want to see anybody different on y'all screens that makes you uncomfortable. It's not like you interacted with these people in real life, but that ain't the point. Elliot Page gonna still get paid and get a job whether y'all want to deal with him or not. But in this situation, I do agree that the Odyssey is much more than these little, what they want to call stunt casting or trying to get people riled up and all that bullshit that you had long head ass Piers Morgan trying to perpetuate on his tired ass show. What the show is mostly about, the film is about family. It's about finding yourself or going through that journey of having to travel through Hades to get home to your family, the journey of trying to get back home to your wife and your son, who your son never met you, but there's a crucial point in the movie where his son, played by Tom Holland, recognizes that the beggar that he was helping at a certain point in the movie is, in fact, his father. I thought it was a key moment too. John Leguizamo was good in the movie too, as like a blind man who was devoted to Odysseus and the family and everything, but he was also a spy. Oh, I was living for him in that movie. And Mia Goth, I forgot she was in that damn movie. She really knows how to play a bitch because she played one relatively well in this film. Working for the Queen was being a snitching ass bitch. So I forgot she was going to be in that movie. She was good. I was going to say, everybody was good in this part. I mean, in this film. And yes, the Iliad is not easy to read. That's probably why I could never get into Homer's work. But if you can find a way to make something that is a hard code to crack into something that is easily palatable for not just me, but for him, because I love a highly intelligent film. I can sit there with some complex shit and try to figure it out. But if you can make it easily palatable for me to sit and watch all the visuals and the dialogue and everything that's going on, like making it just perfect in that way, Christopher Nolan has the knack of doing that. So that's why I trusted him in wanting to crack this code and me seeing this film. And that's what made me enjoy it, is the fact that it was the politics, it was the costumes, it was the overall aesthetic, the practical effects, the ships, the people, the armor, just everything about this film just worked. And y'all sitting there complaining about a trans man in the movie, but I ain't hear y'all say nothing about a one-eyed giant that was eating some of Odysseus's men, or the giants that was running around killing them and stuff when they wound up on this land trying to find their way home, or the fact that, yeah, you can't sacrifice pouring blood into a shield and resurrecting a lot of your former people to help you find your way back home as you traveling through Hades, or the fact that we had the Samantha Morton scene where she gagged me when they wound up going to this place and they were hungry and she went and turned his men into a bunch of damn pigs. Is that something that really happens? So come on now. We're not going to sit up here and pick and choose what we're going to say is real and isn't real when it's made up. But unfortunately, you can't fix stupid. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Have you seen the Odyssey? What are your overall thoughts on the Odyssey? Are you bothered by the fact that we had Elliot Page, who has worked with Christopher Nolan in the past, in one of his movies? And the same thing with Lupita Nyong'o. They had a problem with her too. But this is more or less about Elliot Page because everybody's getting up in arms about the whole trans thing, including nasally ass Ben Shapiro. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. So Dale, what's that? I think you meant Truth. I saw a Truth or Dale where Madonna was a young, intriguing artist. Now she needs to go sit down somewhere with her grandkids. Well, first of all, she doesn't have any grandkids because Rocco and Lourdes do not have children. Well, you should go see it because it's a good movie. I mean, it's long. How cool would it have been if Elliot's character was also trans as a kid? Would have made a powerful statement about trans people having always been a part of the human family. Yeah, that would have been that would have been a good thing too. But to me, with Christopher Nolan, the way he was telling the story, I think it would have probably been too much. Where it's like, okay, this is about Odyssey, this is about a bunch of little things. It's not necessarily about trying to hit that point. But I did love the fact that in that scene where you're talking about, because they show Sinyon as a boy, and the fact that you have a trans man playing that character, maybe that's the big statement within itself, because just him being cast in the movie alone, and I think maybe Christopher Nolan knew this, just him being cast in the movie alone, he knew it was going to be controversial. So he didn't really have to point that statement out because, yeah, if you really think about it, but I also think that, to your point, it would have been cool if there was somebody there to push that point in like on the press release and stuff like that. Greek mythology is my jam. However, there was African queens and kings in that time period and found archaeological evidence in the sites mentioned. Yeah, exactly. And I remember somebody bringing that up too, that there was a situation where, yeah, there were, I mean, people seem to forget this too. Yeah. In the time, because then they expressed that also in The Woman King. If you ever saw that movie with, why do I always do Viola Davis and Octavia Spencer? Them two I always get mixed up. But yeah, during the Woman King era, there was like kings, African kings and queens and all other stuff. So yes, they did exist in those times. But of course, with history, they always want to try to make it like Black people just started out being slaves in the beginning. So, and I think they were trying to make comments about how Homer done stole some of that stuff regarding the Iliad from someone Black. There's a story going around about that. A lot of people trying to rub her life. Oh, you're talking about rub or ruin. But yeah, I do think that people need to get up on their history. And that's the problem, is that I feel like the education system has failed a lot of people. So this is why they come out here and just say dumb stuff and have no problem. And have no problem just standing 10 toes down on the fact that they wrong. I just never known people to be doing that. It's like, so you okay with just being wrong about stuff, and y'all stay on it with y'all full chest? Yeah, I'm wrong, and that's something to be proud of. Like, you just look stupid. I don't get it. Are you saying run her life? All right, y'all. Now, speaking of the Odyssey, we still got more Odyssey news what we need to get into. So yeah, so now because of, people out here bitching and moaning about this movie. Elon Musk, aka Apartheid Clyde, is now running around here with his little fake outrage. Somebody he want to make a whole AI movie regarding the Odyssey. Well, good luck being able to do that and getting people that want to be in your film. You know, worthy people, because your movie will never make the kind of money that Christopher Nolan's is making. So another one with no talent trying to colonize a situation. So with all that being said, Colman Domingo came out and threw some shade at Elon Musk, and basically threw some shade at him. So he said by historically accurate, because he said he want to make a historically accurate version of the film. So he said by historically accurate, he means whiter than Christmas at Cracker Barrel. And this is what he said during a stint at guest host on Jimmy Kimmel Live on Wednesday night. Of course, this is all because Elon and his Musketeers are upset over the diversity casting of the Odyssey. Now, Domingo centered much of his ongoing monologue on Musk, who vowed that before the end of the year, his AI tool, Grok of shit is what I call it, will make a full-length movie of the Odyssey that is historically accurate and true to the art of Homer. First of all, you didn't know Homer. And number two, historically accurate, as we've said before, it's made up. So Musk also shared a 3-minute clip of an AI-generated scene adapted from the poem, which was manufactured by a user on Grok. Whatever, ain't nobody using that bullshit. Now, he said, of course, this is all because Elon and his Musketeers are upset over the diversity casting of the Odyssey. And I don't want to get technical here, but you can't make a historically accurate version of something that is totally made the fuck up. And that's his words. I'm sure they bleeped him on the show. Now, Domingo is the latest in the industry to mock Musk's recent crusade against Nolan's adaptation. Earlier this week, the Doctor Strange director Scott Derrickson addressed Musk directly on X, tweeting, clearly, Elon Musk doesn't know shit about cinema and he stopped reading in his 20s. So yeah, he said that. I was like, was there more to it? Oh yeah, so he said his opinions on art are worthless. So yeah, that's what he said in regards to that. And for those who wonder, that's Scott Derrickson right there. He directed Doctor Strange as well as oh my God, what was the other damn movie that he directed? I totally forgot. The Black Phone. I ain't like The Black Phone Part 2, but I did like The Black Phone. So we directed those movies. Now, what else? Now, Musk has railed against Nolan's Odyssey long before it was released due to his perception of certain woke casting decisions. Now, in March, the tech mogul wrote that Chris Nolan is an anti-white racist. Huh? You be an anti-white oh my God, this man is stupid. For casting Lupita Nyong'o in the role of Helen of Troy. Yeah, and then before y'all already had what was his name? Elliot Page. I had him as Achilles, which that wasn't who he played once you seen the movie. But that was the only time Colman Domingo threw a read at them, because he threw another dagger. Because I will say this now, if Colman ever decides to give up acting, someone give him his own late night talk show, because I definitely feel like he's been killing it this week as a fill-in for Jimmy Kimmel, because them jokes have been everything. Because he also said this joke during, this week while he was doing a monologue. He said, I have a message for everyone who was upset about diversity in the Odyssey. If you want to see a film with a cast of all white people who are cursed by the gods, the Melania movie is currently streaming. So he got reads for days. So if everybody wants to sit up here and just say all this other stuff, sometimes you just got to come out here and just hold the mirror up to show how dumb these goddamn people are, because you will gag at how dumb a lot of people are in this world. And Elon Musk, regardless of how much money he has, and Trump, regardless of how much money he has, and so many of these people that are part of this current regime that is just shitting on every aspect of our democracy, you don't realize, because people always tend to think if you got a whole lot of money, that must mean you smart. Well, these people have proven time and time again that yes, they have all the wealth in the world, but it also shows how dumb they are. And money and wealth does not equal high intelligence. You just know how to play the game and get away with murder. Literally and figuratively. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding Colman Domingo and director Scott Derrickson throwing shade at Elon Musk for yet again coming out here and proving the big idiot that he actually is. So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. I believe someone made an alternate Snow White film over that controversy. And did anybody see it? Probably not. The exposure of how illiterate our country is both astounding and embarrassing. Okay? Not No Child Left Behind. No, some of these motherfuckers do need to be left behind. Quiet as it's kept. Well, you're talking about No Child. No, leave their ass. If you got a dumbass kid, they got special ed, put their ass in there. I mean, who knows? It could be dyslexia. Which I don't think people who are dyslexic are dumb. It's just they don't see things the way that regular kids see things in regards of like how they retain information or understanding math or whatever the case is. But some of y'all kids is dumb. It just is what it is. That's kind of like the similar to the whole participation trophy mess. Everybody should get a trophy. Hell no, they shouldn't. If you ain't putting the same amount of work I put in on that damn field, you ain't getting nothing. But a thank you. Work hard next time. Damn participation trophy. Y'all get on my nerves with all this foolishness. That's why these kids are the way they are today. They got to learn that if you really want to make something of yourself in this world, you really want to get out there and get some stuff, you got to work your butt off. And you got to constantly work at it. Now, speaking of working at it, Malcolm-Jamal Warner's ex-wife is trying to work on getting some of them coins that he left behind, which is why she's taking her mother-in-law to the good old courthouse. So Malcolm-Jamal Warner's widow, Tanisha Warner, filed a lawsuit in DeKalb County Superior Court against his mother, Pamela Warner. This was on July 21st. So that was 2 days ago. Pamela is a successor trustee of the Warner Family Trust, which Malcolm-Jamal set up in 1996. Now, in court documents obtained by Us Weekly, Tanisha, who is 48, claims she is entitled to more than $1.2 million from the trust. Tanisha alleged that the sum is the equivalent of what Malcolm-Jamal had promised her as part of their May 2022 premarital agreement. Tanisha alleged that Malcolm-Jamal did not deliver before his death, explaining that she is a creditor of his estate. In her complaint, Tanisha alleged that Malcolm-Jamal's estate is currently unrepresented and will be inadequate to satisfy his obligations to her. She claimed that the property of a California-based family trust is liable for his debt to her. While the administration of his estate is contested, Tanisha claimed that her rights are vulnerable. Now, plaintiff performed all obligations required for her of her under the agreement, including entry into and remaining in the marriage until the descendant's death. The lawsuit reads, the descendant died without having satisfied his obligations under the agreement, and no person or entity has paid or provided the sums due to plaintiff under the agreement. This is why I'm not getting married, because this now it seems like now it makes you like when people die and then there's money that people want to get a piece of, it just feels so much like a contractual situation, which kind of rubs me the wrong way. And why I'm just like, this is why, I mean, if I get a long-term relationship, I'll be in a long-term relationship, but I ain't get married because this is too much. Also, what she was saying, now look, I just hope that if you can prove all this in court, because like they said, the last trust thing was fulfilled. Malcolm-Jamal filled it out in 1996, and it hasn't been updated. Because what would have happened was on the, before we get married or whatever the case is, I don't know if there's a prenup or whatever the case is, but when it comes down to the marriage, why didn't y'all kind of go in and be like, okay, so God forbid anything happens, that I'm set up and protected. Me and the kid, how many other kids you was planning on having, will be protected in your whole situation. And because whatever's going on now, the mother hasn't even given the Tanisha any money. Now, Tanisha said that she out here struggling in these streets, and that's why she had to take Mama Jamal Warner, Mama Malcolm-Jamal, to the court. And we haven't heard from Malcolm-Jamal's mother. So she hasn't even spoken out about this. This is all coming out now, and then Tanisha actually went and spoke out in regards to the situation. So this is an ugly situation. I don't think that Malcolm-Jamal will want something like this to be happening while he's not even here on this earth to take care of his family. So I'd just be like, break off some coins to Tanisha. But then again, we don't necessarily know Tanisha. For all we know, she can have ulterior motives. She could have been a horrible wife. And maybe Mama Warner seen some mess that she ain't particularly like while he was mad at her. But you know how they are. These men, they be so drunk in love with their wife that it's like, I want to be able to say something, but you're not going to let me say what I want to say because I'm trying to stay out of y'all relationship. But now you ain't here. I can get back at this bitch. Maybe that's where Mama Warner's coming from. I don't know. I'm just speculating. You know how my mind works. I can be very imaginative when I want to. So they said the lawsuit is seeking to block Pamela from distributing trust property while the dispute is litigated. In the court documents, Tanisha included a copy of the prenup, which was signed before the pair tied the knot in 2022. The document indicated that Malcolm-Jamal's annual earnings were about $680,000 and his net worth was around $3.4 million. At the time, damn, it was like, with him acting, he really wasn't making that much money. I mean, some people think maybe for us regular folks, $680,000 is a lot. Under this fucking economy, it's not. So now at the time, Tanisha was unemployed and had a net worth of, about $0. She was pregnant with their second child, and had been living together at his properties in Atlanta and LA per the agreement. The agreement noted that Malcolm-Jamal was to buy and maintain a $1 million life insurance policy where Tanisha was the sole beneficiary, and agreed to get $1 million life insurance policy on her. She was named as a primary beneficiary. The Cosby Show star who paid tribute to Malcolm-Jamal Warner after, Tanisha, however, claimed in the court documents that Malcolm-Jamal did not get either. Well, here's the thing. If he wasn't able to fulfill all those things, I mean, I don't think that's going to help your case, right? I mean, they go by what's in the law and what's out there. If he didn't update the stuff he was supposed to update, then while in a perfect world, in a human world, yeah, I would break you off some coin, but they're gonna go by what the law says. So she said he did not get either insurance policy, and alleged that he did not pay her $5,000 per month as his chief of staff and gave her $16,000 per year on their anniversary. She further alleged that Malcolm-Jamal did not fund a tax-free retirement account for her and maintain college funds for their children. Tanisha alleged that she is owed at least $1,266,042. I will say 042. Let's read that again. $1,276,042 plus interest and attorney fees. She also filed a creditor's claim in the DeKalb County probate court against Malcolm-Jamal Warner's estate, where she sought the same account. Now, Malcolm-Jamal drowned in July of 2025 on a Costa Rican beach after he was caught in a riptide. He was 54. Now, at the time, Malcolm-Jamal was traveling with Tanisha and their daughter. Now, later that year, Pamela spoke out in an interview with us about Malcolm-Jamal's legacy would be and said, what was important to him was integrity. Your craft is your baby, and you must treat it as such. But more than that, be the best human you can be. So that's all she said. She didn't mention nothing about the wife or whatever the case is. And y'all do know that Pamela, I believe, when Malcolm-Jamal first started out in the business, she was his manager. So if anybody knows about his finances and making sure that all the I's is dotted and T's is crossed and people not taking advantage of her son, it was her. So there must have been a reason. Well, then again, this was in the 90s when he signed all that stuff over for his mother to be handling or whatever the case is, or he put it the way he put it. And there might have been a reason why he didn't update it when he was supposed to. So all the things that should have been done before y'all got married. Now you're saying like all the things he said he was going to get you and do for you, he didn't do. So I don't know if you have a chance of winning this case based off of what I'm hearing. I mean, I hope that she'll be able to get a little something out of the situation. But sis, In the words of Monique and Press, you better get your ass down to the welfare and figure out how you're going to get you some coins or get you a job or whatever the case is. Because you can't think that little bit of scraps that you're going to be getting from Malcolm-Jamal is going to help you take care of your child or children, since you said that y'all had kids. So I'll definitely keep us abreast of this story as it develops. And I'm sure it ain't going nowhere anytime soon. But in the meantime, I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. All right, so now let's see what the yes, it did. You said the whole thing makes me feel horrible. If there's a legal document they both sign, this would be hearsay in court. Hey. Yeah, this is definitely messy. Good luck. That the law, the courts, all y'all got to deal with this mess. I would not want to be involved. How much was he worth? He can give out 1.2 million. I did say how much money he was worth, right? Hold on, let me. Luckily, I didn't close the thing yet. Well, they said that his earnings were about $680,000, and his net worth was around $3.4 million. Well, I guess what they were saying was that he made 600. Like he brought in like a little over $500,000 a year when he was working. So his net worth was $3.4 million. So I guess, give me a little $1 million. I mean, I could stretch that out, make it work, give me a cute little house somewhere. And, but you also need to go out and get you a job. He said, Mama Malcolm knows she wrong for that. The more I hear, it makes me think she's never worked and just living. I mean, that's kind of like what I was getting to. Watch Chris get married. Who you gonna get that show over to? I ain't giving shit to nobody. If I have children, that's who will get my stuff. Or I'm gonna treat my kids like mommy dearest. No, I'm just playing. She's not getting anything based on. That's why I said I feel like based off of what I was saying, I don't see her getting anything unless Mama Warner feels a little bad. I was like, I'll break off a little piece of something. But you should have worked that out from the beginning. Oh, Lord, child, let's get into this mess. Let's talk about Belle Khalice. So Belle Khalice is out here comparing herself to the hip-hop equivalent of Britney Spears, and I have the cackle over this foolishness. So the lady who says that she is the drama apparently is feeling the drama because the Bronx rapper is comparing herself to Britney Spears when it comes to the intense scrutiny surrounding her life as a celebrity. So, of course, y'all know how Cardi likes to do. She hops over on social media to, spew her issues to the world. But this time, instead of her being on Spaces, wherever else she likes to frequent, she was in her IG story where she crowned herself as hip-hop's Britney Spears while voicing her frustration with being in the tabloid spotlight. So, of course, we got to hear from her. So, I got the clip. We're going to play the clip, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to talk.
No cap, I'm really hip-hop's Britney Spears. Like, I'm out here feeling like motherfucking Britney. Because let me tell you something, right? I know who and what's doing what and all that. When it comes to me, bitch, I can't even it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to take the good with the bad. Like, it is what it is. Like, people pay for this type of people pay for this type of talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, bring in the motherfucking drama then, bitch.
Okay, so yeah, there's that. So she decided to compare herself to Britney, and of course, I had to look at her like, "Girl, what are you talking about?" Because if we really want to get technical in the whole Britney situation, what Britney had to go through, what you're going through is nothing compared to what Britney Spears had to go through back in the day. It was way worse. And this is what I be telling people when they come up here. Like, we just had a conversation on the show not too long ago when I had friends of the show, Onyx, asked me, I forget who it was that they was comparing it to in regards, because I think it was like a similar conversation, but it wasn't with Cardi B. But it was somehow like, because I did come up in the time of Britney mania and all that other stuff. And I saw what Britney was going through. You had little paparazzi out here, like army of paparazzi constantly in her face, taking her pictures, following her everywhere. There were people who were driving, damn near would drive you off the road just so they can get a picture of you. Like, it was insanity in the 2000s when all of this was going down. So Cardi B kind of comparing herself in that situation kind of annoyed me. So, and then she went on to say this because it was a follow-up. Hold on, let me see if I can find that clip. Is this a different clip? Because I'm like, look, I'll play this one too. Oh, she said, just know I understand Britney Spears. But then another person just cited, but you've been giving Nicki the same treatment the industry gave Brit. What? Okay, now you sound like a bird. And see, now a lot of people dragging her over that. Let's read what they were saying because they going in. Now that you open up Pandora's boxes, one person said, and which is echoing what I'm saying, you haven't even experienced half the hate and other shit Britney went through. Be fucking for real. Another person said, Britney never drugged and robbed men, and then they posted a pic of Kermit the Frog sipping on some tea. Why everybody somebody you treating Nicki the same way the industry is treating Britney? Y'all sound like a bird with all of this stuff. Now the Barbs and the Barty gang are out here fighting. They said, who we taking out first? TMZ, NHT, HU just said, okay, now y'all sound dumb. No, one person said Britney has some real ish going on. Meanwhile, you just have a bunch of stan Twitter trolls that have gotten in your head. Another person said, the more you learn about what she went through, the more empathy you have for her. So another person said, wow, you're impossible. This just goes to show you actually don't. Someone who understands her wouldn't use her as an example like this, furthering the stigma that surrounds her and her mistreatment at the hands of the music industry and society at large. You're not the victim. And that's what I was saying the whole time with that too. Cardi, you are not a victim in all of this. In fact, quiet as it's kept, I feel like you've brought a lot of this drama into your life. First of all, you named your second album Am Out of Drama. But let's get to the first part. The first part is, if you wasn't running around here using social media as your little diary, spilling all your personal business on social media, people wouldn't feel the need to be a part of it. So you are the problem, sis. So we're going to sit up here and talk for real. We're going to talk for real up in here. Because I'm not kissing nobody's ass to get along with them. You got people around you that could do that. So, as I stated, I don't get the comparison to Britney. You are not going to sit up in here and act like you weren't crashing out all over social media at your exes or anytime someone said something about you. So whenever you had issues with your fellow rap ops or whatever, you would get on social media and talk about that. Whenever you have issues with Offset, you was up in there talking about that. Whenever you was having issues with Stephon Diggs, you was running up in there and talking about that. Now that there's rumors going around with you and Maduka, that's why you trying to jump around and compare yourself to Britney Spears. So anytime something goes on in your personal life, and how many times have I said on this show before, it took her damn near a decade to release that sophomore record, that you should have been saving all this shit for the studio. Sit up there, tell your ghostwriters what you want to talk about, have them write you out some good ass raps and get up in the studio and spit all that shit in the booth. How many times have I said that? But you want to get up on Spaces or whatever the case is, and you can say stuff with, and I'm saying this with love, trust and believe. So you can say and feel how you want to feel or whatever the case is, but save it for what you do. Save it for being in the studio, perform all that out or whatever the case is. But no, you would get on social media all the time, crash out about whatever's going on in your personal life. Because I get it. You came from Love and Hip Hop. That was your starting point. You became famous from Love and Hip Hop, so you have that whole reality thing in your background. And I like the fact that people like that Cardi keeps it real and she doesn't rest on her laurels and she's always out here being her authentic self, and people like the fact that she's an artist but she also seems to be attainable. We like that part of her, but you're not going to sit up here and compare yourself to Britney, because first of all, Britney just want to get out here, sing and dance and be a pop star and be successful and all this other stuff, but all that extra mess came with her. They wanted to make her America's sweetheart. They propped her up to be this innocent little girl, virgin, whatever. She wasn't allowed to grow up. She wasn't allowed to figure out who she was as a woman. I mean, she came out with a song called Not a Girl, Not Yet a Woman. So, and there were periods where she had to rebel because y'all were trying to treat her like a puppet. You've never had to deal with that. You never had to deal with a label trying to control you and tell you this is the artist that you need to be. No, you can't do this. No, you can't go this place. No, we need to have somebody keeping an eye on you. Like, they're trying to control her. You didn't have to deal with a lot of the stuff Britney has gone through. And especially having a horrible family that she has. So that comparison, girl, this is why it just reminds me that, yeah, you a damn bird. And I love you, but you are a bird. But that is the only thing she said, because there was another article I came across. Shout out to the Jasmine brand, where she went on X Spaces. I told her she loved flipping around all these different places. She addressed the attention surrounding her love life. She didn't say nobody by name, but acknowledged that her taste in men has not always been the best. Yeah, you definitely sure know how to pick them. She also suggests that being Cardi B can stir emotions once another woman learns she is dating someone from her past. According to Cardi, she rubs women's feathers when they discover she is involved with their ex. Her comments arrive amid rumors that she's dating Nigerian soccer goalkeeper Maduka Okoye, though neither has confirmed the relationship. But she says she made it clear she's planning to remain single to avoid drama. She said, the pussy needs some love too. She can't stay single forever. Well, yeah, we get that. Curtis, this girl's such a damn gutter rat. But your coochie, you can get your coochie scratched all you want. Go get an IUD or have them wear a condom or whatever the case is, because we already know, like I said before, anytime somebody breathes near Cardi vagina, she would end up with a baby. So nobody said you got to get in a relationship or whatever the case is. If you want to get them cheeks, if you want somebody to just dig out them guts, we all love a drive-by. Nobody's judging you for that. And to me, I feel like you giving away the situation without giving away the situation. So you kind of are seeing Maduka. But the fact of the matter, you talk about ruffling women's feathers when they discovering that you dating their ex. So who we talking about, Willis? Because clearly that's what it sounds like, that you addressing Maduka's baby mother, who basically called him a deadbeat and said that he out here messing with men and women. So she basically, but I'm like, but girl, that didn't stop you from spreading your legs and getting pregnant by him, that you got your whole self a bisexual man. And that pissed me off too. Like all of a sudden, whenever y'all get mad at y'all men, y'all always want to pull the gay card or whatever the case is. It's so tired. It's so late. But you had no problem laying down and spreading your legs for that athlete either. But you want to sit up and read him on being bi. So what? Let me tell you, some of them athletes, they definitely know how to put it down. And they got some good booty. So don't ask me how I know. But with all that being said, Cardi, I vehemently disagree with you on this comparison, but that's what we're here for. We agree to disagree, and you can be a fan of somebody and still call them out on their foolishness, like I just did here. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Do you agree with what Cardi B had to say? Oh, sorry, Belle Khalees, because we love saying her government over here. Well, at least I do. In her regards comparing herself to hip hop's Britney Spears and saying that news outlets are only concerned with her dating life, when in fact, sis, if you wasn't inviting everybody into the group chat or your business, then maybe the TMZs of it all wouldn't be all up in your business. Sometimes you got to learn how to protect your peace. But when you put all your business out there in the street, then, oh, so you that type of artist. So now, yeah, it's open season. Anytime you can't even piss in a cup, as she tried to say, without us reporting on it. You open that can of worms. Because trust and believe, there are people out here who can keep their stuff private, and y'all still don't know their business. Tom Holland and Zendaya have been doing it. Jay-Z and Beyonce been doing it. Those are two examples. How come you can't do it? It is possible. Because you like the attention. You like the drama. Keeps that pussy potent. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Oh, Lord. All right. Let's see what. I ain't giving shit to nobody. You would never be Britney. What song was it? What, Bodak Yellow's not a classic? Cardi can't even handle questions without throwing a pen at interviewers, YouTubers. Sit down. It's Cardi B is Ray nonsense or has grandiose opinions about herself. The tabloids being the shade room, and exactly, because the TMZs and the white. And you want to know something? Shout out to Armand Wiggins, because he always be saying this about her. Yeah, it's the Shade Room and the Hollywood Unlocks and the Neighborhood Talks that be all up your ass. Us Weekly, People, all the other rags or whatever the case you want to call it. I mean, People's not necessarily a rag, but they do talk celebrity news and gossip. The white conglomerates are not treating you that way. In fact, the white people love Cardi B because she a damn caricature. So that and all that other ghetto hood rat stuff that she basically made a profit off of, they like her for that. And so, what he ended up saying is like, yeah, you got all the smoke for the Shade Room and all the black people whenever they do you dirty, but when white people say stuff about you, you real quiet. I don't see Cardi visibly distressed or publicly experiencing a breakdown, so this is some foolishness. All this over her new. And that ain't the first time, allegedly, she done hunched herself a DL man. I mean, quiet as it's kept. They said her last baby daddy be hunching men too. Kerry Washington and Queen Latifah prove every day that celebrities can keep. Oh, that's another one too. Shout out to Queen Latifah. We all knew she liked to eat the carpet, but was she out here broadcasting her business? We all knew she was a lesbian, but she knew how to keep her marriage and what's going on in her private life private. So it is possible, but you like the drama. Another thing, we need to remember that algorithms are curated for us specifically. I'm sure Cardi sees nothing but posts about her every time she logs onto Twitter, but it's not like her relationship drama. Not to mention her family. Well, yeah, that too. Her family, your family ain't controlling you. They didn't put you in a conservatorship. They wasn't out here robbing you and forcing you to work so that way they can take your money. Like, you wasn't going through that. He's saying relationship drama is being discussed like Angelina or Brad or Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. No one even knows who her man is besides football viewers. That's all the not Miss Hercules. And having a sister and ex come out with books. That too. Yeah, because Hennessy ain't write a book on Cardi. How you know? Wait a minute. I know Chris ain't getting it with. No shade, but a lot of hood rats always fuck. Hello. Not to mention, she popped out 3 kids before her second album, and Britney popped out a lot of albums before. You know what? I mean, that's a fact. Cardi got more kids than records. You said those athletes would treat you like they treat workout equipment and put you through the mat. Oh, okay, and yes, they will put you through the mattress. Let me tell you, there's some good sex with some athletes. But do you want to be in a relationship with one? No, ma'am. No, ma'am, Pam. All right, y'all. So now, what we getting into? Oh, another messy reality star. Because Cardi is a reality star, whether we don't want to, that was her humble beginnings. But let's get to another messy reality star. And let's talk about Brandi Glanville, who, child, this lady, I swear, before Jesus, she needs Jesus. So Brandi Glanville recently did an interview, I think it was an interview or her podcast, or whatever the case is, and was kind of calling her kids boring for saying they never went out and tried booger sugar. Is that why your face is literally rotting in real time and in 4K? So Brandi Glanville criticized her boring sons for never trying booger sugar while admitting to her own past drug use. She said, well, I mean, let's be clear. We've all done booger sugar in the 90s, she said on Saturday's episode of her Brandi Glanville Unfiltered podcast. Glanville noted, however, that she hasn't done booger sugar since fentanyl came out. Well, you want to know something? I'm with you, sis, because that's the last time I did the booger sugar, too. Now, when Glanville's co-host James Mass quipped that now she uses drug testing strips to check out booger sugar for the booger sugar for fentanyl, she jokingly replied, I got them for the kids. Well, sis, I know you're not still out here doing bumps, but if she is doing pumps and a bump, that's on you. Because I'm like, sis, we already seen like your face is like, you start to look a little like Clayface-ish. And now you trying to ruin your nose too? She said, luckily, my kids don't do cocaine because they're boring. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills alum shared. But that's okay. I love that they're boring. They don't even like to drink. I'm like, what do you do? Where is your life? Well, sis, welcome to Gen Z or Gen Alpha, because her son Mason is 23 and Jake is 19. They live she said that, yeah, they live such a clean lifestyle, but she wants them to party a little more. And she said, not like booger sugar. But and those are the kids she got with Eddie Cibrian. And maybe this is the reason why I'm thinking them kids live with their father. Because, Brandi, you be doing too much. And I'm sure, like, she was trying to be silly or whatever the case is. Because all this to get going for the algorithm and us talking, which is what we're doing here. But the reality of it all is, like, look, a lot of this younger generation, they're not doing the drugs and stuff. They're out here vaping. That's what they're doing. They're doing the vape pens and all that other mess. So that's the new big thing that everybody wants to do. But y'all got to realize them little hookah vapes or whatever, that's just going to fuck up your lungs worse than them damn cigarettes. And plus, maybe what it is that also drinks are so expensive now. Like, people don't want to be going out to the clubs and you're paying twice as much for a drink of liquor than you would anywhere else. Like, drinks are OD expensive, especially in New York. I haven't been out to a bar or whatever in a minute, but usually when I have gone in the past, drinks are so expensive now. It's like, even at my job, the drinks are crazy expensive. So it's like, it's just a lot. And maybe it's just some people just don't like the taste. I do notice that a lot of Gen Z, they don't like drinking. They don't like, they don't want to be out here drinking and stuff like that. Me, I just drink because it makes me feel good. But other than that, it's like, I don't drink like I used to. Back in the day, I used to love going out partying and drinking and stuff. But after a while, it does a number on your body. And then now with me actually working certain events at MSG and watching how some of these people are when they're under the influence and you stole cold sober looking at that foolishness, it kind of makes you want to abstain from any kind of drugs. So now in 2023, Glanville told people that she sometimes cries when her kids leave her to go to their dad's house. She says they have a staff, they have this giant mansion, they have kind of everything they want. She said of Cibrian and Rhymes' home. And with me, we have a small house and we move every other year. And it's hard, they see the struggle is real. Glanville also said that Jake and Mason worry about her and urge her to date, but she always insists to give them that she's all right. Now, the following year, she revealed that she spent Christmas with Cibrian and Rhymes and even posed in a group photo with them in an effort to put the kids first, saying, you guys don't understand the love I have for these. Well, okay, so we know you love your kids, whatever the case was. Still, Eddie ain't shit for what he did in regards of you meeting this woman on this TV movie over on a Lifetime, and then you go and have a whole bloody affair, pull the Brad and Angelina. The difference is these two still together, while Brandi be throwing her daggers at Eddie. And I'm like, how are they able to afford this big mansion? Is it because of Leanne Rhymes and her big country music career? Or is it because Eddie Cibrian, I mean, I don't see him acting as much, but I do know, like, he'll pop up on a TV show here and there or a TV movie here because he is not A-list. He's not out here doing big screen movies. It's like he ain't acting alongside Matt Damon in the Odyssey. He'll probably do the Odyssey for the Hallmark Channel if they did. Like, if they did one for the Hallmark Channel, he probably would lead that and play Odysseus. But child, they wouldn't have a budget. It looked something out of like the 10 Commandments. But anyway, if y'all care enough to check out Brandi Glanville Unfiltered, y'all can do that over on the YouTube. But in the meantime, I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story regarding what she said regarding her kids, talking about her kids is boring and she wants them to do some drugs or whatever the case is? Look, don't be encouraging that. The good thing is your kids are your kids are good. If they're straight A students, if they're smart, whatever the case, that's what you want to encourage. You don't want to encourage them to do problematic things. And then they end up with a record or whatever, because you feel like that gives them brownie points or that makes them a rebel of some sort. I'd rather be boring and a nerd than just be some guy that's out here with a bunch of notches on my belt because I need to make you look good out here in these streets. I don't care about all that. So anyway, let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. I mean, she don't got more kids than records. I mean, where's the lie? She got 4 kids and only 2 albums. I was talking about this with my mom just earlier this week. I have no desire to go back to drugs, or try any new drugs. I know for a fact many of my friends will say I became boring or lost my. And look, the fact of the matter is like what Brandi said. Like, you got to use these strips now to determine whether or not fentanyl and all the other stuff is in the drugs and things. They put it in all kinds of stuff. It was like yesterday and it's like every time we're gonna be working these Fish concerts, because when you work Fish, and that's night 1 was yesterday, night 2 is tomorrow. When you have to deal with all this other stuff, now that we're like, we get these memos: don't take anything from people, don't take candy, don't take stickers, don't take nothing, because you will be surprised what, like, one person I heard took something from a guest laced with fentanyl. So you don't want, and then you not thinking much of it, and then you touch your face, and then all of a sudden you got it on you, and now you're having a reaction. So you don't know, while you're trying to do your job, you never know what it is, these things, because when you deal with shows like a Fish show or whatever the case is, you're dealing with people who literally come in there knowing, well, we're just hearing this jamming music where it feels like 1 hour, one song that lasts 3 damn hours. That's literally what a Fish concert feels like. They're in the moment with the light, the crazy light. And let me tell you, Fish has some of the most amazing light shows when it comes to what they do. The jamming is whatever, but the lighting and everything, and how the lights move throughout the show, and how, it's just amazing how they the set design that they have for their show. But what you don't realize is that they're all doing that. They come in there with the intent of doing drugs and all this kind of stuff before and when they get in there. So, you just have to be, and you never know what people are putting in things now. Because it's like, especially with these drug dealers, they want you to be subservient to them. They want you to be addicted to whatever it is that they getting you. But I'm like, if you're giving people good-ish, wouldn't you want to continue to have them as a client? You don't want them to OD. But these people don't be thinking like that. But people that don't get addicted don't realize the chokehold it has on you. I was at my rock bottom 3 years ago. Why would I want to relive that and experience it all over again? Absolutely. And I'm glad you're smart enough to know that. I was like, I hit my rock bottom. I don't want to go back there. But luckily for me, I've never had a addictive personality, especially when it comes to drugs. But I could do stuff, and then I'm like, okay, I'm good. But one thing I would never try is meth. I was watching this, and one person posted this video in a group chat that I'm in, and I'm like, this is gross. This guy was literally going hard on a meth pipe. I'm like, this is not cute at all. And he had an erection and everything. And he was cute too. I'm like, damn, you just about to fuck yourself up with all of that. Because now you sucking on that nasty ass glass pipe. Took a whole fist. You know where. And I was just like, why would, and I wanted to say that. So I was like, why would you put this shit in here? I just let it go. I was like, this is nasty. While I don't approve of cheating, the more I hear about Brandi Glanville, the more 100% understand Eddie's serious step. Child, I was thinking the same thing. Not the 10 Commandments. Look, that'll be the budget. They are both grown men. She needs to love them and accept their choices. Absolutely, because you said 19 and what? It was 23? If they don't want to do drugs, no, they don't have to. If your friends aren't willing to grow with you, only want you around when you're fun and down to anything, it's absolutely. And that's kind of like, and you said that's why I'm not on Bigo. And you know what? That's kind of like the model I've been living. I have pretty much dropped a lot of people out of my life because I felt like I was elevating, I was moving on, I was past all that childish bullshit. Like, I'm like, sir, you are a grown ass man in your 40s, and you still doing childish bullshit, especially when it comes to relationships and stuff. That's why I had to chop a friend of mine, because I was like, or there would be situations that when you have that friend that be into somebody and then you're into them also, or they find out that you're into somebody and then they want to make it like a competition. I don't compete with my friends. I don't see that as that. And if you want to come in there as a situation where you want to create some competitive shit, then I don't need to be friends with you. Wait, you say Ish is not the brightest. Are you talking about the high yellow one that's over there on Joe Budden podcast? Is that what you're talking about? Oh, you said Mark Lamont Hill demolished Ish. Ish tried to take Jay-Z's side regarding the Target boycott And hold on. Yeah, because the whole Target thing, I even saw Ebro and Rosenberg was talking about that. And I'm like, Rosenberg, you sound dumb. I don't know why people think that two things can be true at the same time. You can celebrate Reasonable Doubt. You can celebrate The Blueprint. You can talk about how iconic Jay-Z is as a rapper, but you can also call out the hypocrisy of the fact that he literally decided to lick the ass crack of the 1% in order for him to be a part of that whole situation. And as countless times, maybe I'll say that, and has countlessly thrown his own people under the bus for financial gain. We can't say two things can be true at the same time. That yes, we celebrate Jay-Z's genius, but a lot of the moves that he makes as a businessman has been problematic for the Black community. We was holding the line, and I still am. Trust to believe, I ain't shopped at Target since we started boycotting. And I think maybe it's easy for me because I live places where I have different alternatives. Like I was talking to my parents who were talking about, like, they're moving to Virginia from New York. And my mother was saying another that there was, like, from where they're moving, she was like, oh, there was a Walmart in the area. And I was like, Walmart? Ew. But she was like, I like shopping at Walmart, even though my mother's so bougie. So anyway, she do love the Walmart. So, and the way we was growing up, we shopped at all different types of places. But the point is you go where the access is. If you are only in close proximity to a Walmart or a Target and there's no other alternative, what do you expect people to do? So I don't fault people who don't have an alternative. And when you have a situation where, because he tried to compare it to, like, but y'all be shopping at Amazon and y'all be shopping at this place and that. Okay, but you have to also realize there's a reason for that. A lot of these oligarchs, a lot of these corporations have made it so that we are cut to shopping at these places where we can't find a small company alternative. So when you pretty much bought up everything, there's nowhere else for us to go in regards to get whatever consumers need. Of course, he ain't gonna point that out. It's easy to be like, well, y'all was over here doing this and this and this and this, but y'all want to come at me. And of course, people who don't really have that critical thinking cap on and can't think beyond the surface. He right. Yeah, no, he's not. And that's why I shout out to Torre, who tore that ass up over on YouTube. If y'all didn't see that video, definitely go check that out. I was on the way, hold on, let me open up this clip and see if I can play what he said. Because, Joe Budden, he likes to definitely come for me. Where they said, Mark Lamont Hill demolished Ish. Ish tried to take Jay-Z's side regarding the Target boycott and read some AI Google research. Mark Lamont Hill was extremely heated and lost control. This ninja went and was reading mess off of AI. Mark Lamont Hill is tired of Ish going to his phone, trying to battle him and put an end to it. This conversation happened because of the Mouse Jones and Memphis Bleak debate. Oh, yeah, because you had rappers coming out trying to defend him. I'm like, yeah, of course you're going to come and be a part of the thing. Wait, I do not like how this dude's Twitter is set up. It'd be hard to try to find the buttons. But hold on, I'm gonna play this in a second. I will bring it up on the thing, but like I said, Joe Budden podcast, they be going in. Meth is the drug of choice for homosexual men. Andrew Gillum, yup, that's the main one. Andrew Gillum been out here. He looks a mess. Have y'all seen him? Oh, black. Y'all talk about black don't cry. His did. He look old as hell. I'm surprised he got all his teeth. And you said he can't admit to himself that he loves. And that's the problem too. The fact of the matter is, but is that his fault though? Or should we blame the community? Should we blame the Black church? Because when y'all don't be allowing Black men to just be out here and explore and figure out who they are, they got to resort to the drugs and being around them white men, hunting them white men and doing the meth and all that other stuff, sucking on the glass bean in order for them to feel that acceptance. I'm so glad I never had to go that route in order to feel loved by myself. I just want to say, you know what? Thank you, universe, for putting the older Black homosexual men in my life that turned me into the wonderful flower that I am today. You said not a fist like a silver. Oh, don't forget a former has been. Oh, you talking about You talking about Reich and Lemko? Y'all remember that old tied Butch Queen? Well, he wasn't even Butch. He may have aesthetically looked Butch, but he was a big old queen. He was on The Amazing Race. I don't know if he won. Can't remember that far back. But then he also was on the A list, which they should have called the gay list and just put the A in the GAY as a capital A. That would have been cute. Look at me being marketed, the marketer. And now, and they said, one friend in my comments was like, I mean, well, Reich is in his name. So it makes sense that he'd be a Trump supporter. Wait, who's Lance? Wait, Lance Bass was with him? I do remember Austin Amicus at one point was hunching him. And then he was with the Brazilian. If I was Jay-Z, I would be quiet. How you gonna be a sellout and not sell? Okay, well maybe you know what? That's a bar right there. How you gonna be a sellout and not sell? Target sold to Target too fucking high. I ain't paying $8 for. Wait, that's how much it costs? Chris, don't do that. Mama Avalon is right. Walmart Plus is where it's at. Walmart a little ghetto. And unorganized, but yes, Chris, you are right. It's convenient to me. They do free delivery to my house. That's why I said, like, if there's no other options, depending on where you live, so it's like, I can at least, unlike some of you hoes, I can step outside my bubble and understand that, you know what, everybody don't have it as good as we do in New York. And don't get me wrong, there are lots of Targets that are running around New York now. They're trying to put them all in the city. I still don't go to Target. I can go to CVS. I can go to Dwayne Reed. Oh, one of them. Wait, which one closed? Is it Dwayne Reed or the CVS? I can't remember, but I know there be pharmacies around there. Quiet as it's kept. I got a Walgreens around the corner from my house, so that's usually where I go. But if I'm in the city, if there happens to be a pharmacy in the area, I will go in there. The only thing is, I don't really like shopping in the pharmacies anymore, because if you go to any ones, particularly in Manhattan, I get it because there's a lot of homeless people and stuff around there. They lock up everything in that store. You have to literally press a bell for somebody to come by and open stuff up. Who got time for that? I'd rather just go on Amazon, order what I'm going to order, and it'll be in my house in 24 hours. And if people want to be mad over that, suck my dick from the back. I do not care. So I have my reasons for why I don't always follow along with the protests the way they need to. If it's going to be convenient, because I'm not going to no store and I got to go through every aisle and I got to ring a bell every 2 seconds away from one person that's on a damn floor to come open up the thing so I can get what I need to get. And then got one person on the register while you got 15 people waiting to ring their stuff up. Who got time for that? Anyway. He said, however, I ain't stepping foot inside one, though. Oh, you talking about Walmart? Wait, hold on, because I want to play all this clip, because it'll be the first time we're going to hear it. And then we'll come back and we will...
And then they're saying that the prominent local organizers, including Racial Justice, rejects this claim, saying that Target did not reverse its policies. That's literally what I just said. No, and then they said on the 19th, check out the ongoing shit saying that it's possibly over. I'm saying that I don't know. You know what you just read? The portion what you just said? Listen up, yo, dog. I'm saying for the audience. AI Google searches aggregate data. They take a lot of news sources and then they tell you what they said. Yes, but so my public reading that was to show that what you said. If I show you the opposite, and then you proceed to read it as if it were the opposite. That's not the opposite.
You read the same thing that he told
me.
What
I'm telling you is public data and your personal information could be conflicting. This is not personal information. I'm saying the most recent information from all the people you name, the faith leaders and the women, all saying the same thing that I'm saying. How could what you're saying be true if when he pulls out his phone to search it, it does? It's conflicting data. That's conflicting. What I'm saying is, he just read it chronologically. He read the person say it's over. Then he read the next date, which comes after saying, oh, wait, it's not over. Then he heard the other person say, we agree it's out. No, and then it said that, yo, they may be still, like, it's conflicting. Bro, I don't know who wrote. That's why you can't. You don't know how AI works. You right? I don't. So what is it? Sure. So what I'm telling you that is source. Actually, look at the news article. Yo, actually read us AI or whatever you Google, even if you don't know the source. That fucking public information, because most of the public goes there for information. No, they don't. Sure, they don't. That's not the most public. Because you are in this forum. Most people in the public don't go to the actual article to get their information. People get wrong information from AI. Yeah, people get wrong information. Information that be conflicting. You're fucking wrong if you think people don't go Google to get their information. I didn't say that. I do think you have a responsibility at this point. If we know that there are original organizers of this event who have not, hold on. Got found out today. And we're finding out today, right? We're using him as a reliable source. I want to go ahead and use I want to use him right now at this moment with some attachment to the people and say that that's a reliable source.
Minnesota activists say Target boycott is not over.
There we go.
This is March 11, 2026.
Cool.
I'm done. This is the issue. Can y'all please? This is why some of y'all N-words do not deserve to have a microphone in front of y'all, because you realize how dumb a lot of these people, these pundits are, particularly high y'all ass ish. Like, how you gonna be that damn dumb and talk about, I don't know who gave the source. I found it online. And you just take whatever you read and just take it as gospel. We know that a lot of people do that. We're not saying it's right, though. You should be using credible news sources, which I do on this show. Like, if I'm pulling things from places, it's from Variety, it's from Deadline, it's from all the major trades, because these are reputable sources. Or we're using People, Entertainment Weekly, all those things. If it comes from anywhere else outside of like a Daniel RPK, whatever, we represent it as it is strictly rumor, but since it's out here, let's entertain it. We'll sit and say it that way, because I'm like, it may or may not be true. But y'all these people up here, y'all use stuff and be like, oh, to justify the fact that you like eating the shit out of Joe Campbell's ass, you're going to take some shit off Grok or whatever the case is and believe and use it as a gospel. Like, I can't, and they make sense. And this is the issue that I have with this current crop of incels on social media. Y'all will sit and use this foolishness and say, even when y'all wrong, y'all will say it with y'all whole chest like y'all right. That's what irritates me. But I do also love how this topic of discussion went off from the actual topic of you said they need to they need to lead their ass right up in there. Speaking of which, did y'all see that horrible ass outfit one of them had on? What was that Barney the dinosaur tight ass top he had on? Them capri pants and them loafers with no damn socks. Who dressed her? But they're gonna have a good old time with them in prison. Somebody released that tape. I live in a small town, so I don't have that many options. Absolutely. So I totally understand, like, not everybody has those options. Me, being from New York, I have the opportunity to go outside of Target and shop at other places. They lock up everything. They lock up detergent. They lock up toothpaste. They lock up shampoos. They lock up everything. They even locked up the damn candy. That's why, in a way, like, around my way, I'm like, I have the Walgreens that I go to, there's certain things they have locked up, but not all of it is locked up. So I can go in there and get little things here and there. But then there was a period where I was so pissed with like having to go to I'm like, God damn, y'all got shit over here locked too? Like I got so frustrated. I actually left everything. I didn't even finish shopping. And then I just went online and ordered everything on Amazon. That's how pissed off I was, because it was just like, this is ridiculous. Like, y'all literally turning freaking pharmacies and stuff into a prison. Because I ain't come to shop like I'm in Rikers. Okay. No, do drop the soap. I've always confessed to experimenting with drugs, making myself a guinea pig to ask, what's the draw? And I just don't get it. I won't even date a drug user. Either you're high or it's nothing. Yeah, y'all should be getting high off the sex. You shouldn't have to use sex enhancement drugs in order to get off, which is what they be doing with that, being a Methodist. Now, I will use ChatGPT, but if he was a smart bitch, he should have asked ChatGPT to give him an article to back it up. If you're going to be a scammer, be a good one. Well, you know, the part with these people is, people like Ish ain't bright, but I was laughing because Mark Lamar Hill was just going, you know how he was screaming? That was funny. That's why I said y'all can't outsmart one of the smartest guys in the room because y'all all dumb, including Joe Budden. I don't even watch their show. Joe Budden is whack. The Breakfast Club is trash. The only show that I watch of that generation that actually have some type of sense is Ebro, Lauren Rosenberg, and it's called Ebro, Lauren Rosenberg. So I watched that show. Well, they used to be on Hot 97. Now they got their own little podcast on YouTube every day. So they be saying some really good stuff on their channel. You said, I watch it. Mona is the best. Oh, you're talking about Joe Budden? Well, if you're saying the girl is the best part of the show, when they be having like 7 dudes on there and 1 girl, that's why what's the name left. But anyway, let's get back into the show. So we got like 4 more topics left. Before we get to those 4 topics, if you please, if you have not already, hit that like button, subscribe, smash the notification bell, hit the hype channel, do all the things to help the channel get out there to a bigger audience, or just let's continue to entertain our most loyal ones, which I do appreciate all y'all for being up in here every time I do a show, which I wish was often, but bitch, after I saw my schedule for next month, it's not going to be a lot. Chris going to be working. Not that I'm complaining, because I did tell y'all all the shows that I have coming up, right? Because I know there was a couple of people that was in the room earlier, because I came on late because I was in the midst of doing my schedule. So yeah, I only got 1 Rush show, 2 J. Cole's, a Hillary Duff show. I don't know who the Red Clay Strays are, but I got to look into that. 2 Mumford & Sons, 3 Olivia Dean shows. I got 2 Jonas Brothers shows and 2 Harry Styles. So, and then you already know, and I got the opening night of Harry Styles. So you already know that's going to be crazy. And so then September's probably even more crazy because of course we got the Rangers. I think the Knicks come back in October, and then we got the concert. It's always funny when I meet people and they only think we only work one of the events. So if we work a concert, that's all we do. I'm like, no, we do everything. I was here during the Knicks playoffs and the finals. I worked the Rangers even when they didn't do well their last season. Now they have James Dolan's son is taking over the Rangers. We'll see how all that works out when the new season starts. Then we have, of course, the concerts and everything else in between. WWE, the UFC, and every NLP and all that other mess. But I am so glad they honored my Kill Tony request. I said I did not want to work those 2 shows. I put unavailable and they did not schedule me. Thank you, Jesus. Because I did not want to work those shits. So, because I can't stand Tony Hinchcliffe. So whoever's going to be working that mess, good luck. Wasn't there an article that came out about Netflix and podcasts or something or another? I think Robert sent that or something. I didn't read it, but there was something or another regarding that story. I feel like I gotta look it up now. Oh, and shout out to Nivea. Y'all heard she got leukemia? I was so sad to hear that. Because I do like Nivea. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it because, you always send me a lot of stuff. So, oh, yeah, it was Ted's YouTube panic, deep inside Netflix cheap content pivot. And this was a Puck article, which I probably got to pay to read it. But it was about with its fast pivot to podcasters and digital creators, the streamer that upended premium TV is feeling its own angst of late as the engagement wars ratchet up. Our leaders, Ted Sarandos and Greg Peters, charting a savvy new path of running on nerves. I don't know if this is a good idea with them to want to get into the whole space of podcasting, because I don't even need to read it. And I can tell you, a lot of people aren't even liking Netflix going into the direction of podcasting, where they were like, ever since the Breakfast Club signed over to Netflix, people really aren't watching the show. People really aren't giving credence to the show because they feel like the show isn't giving what it used to give. So, and then they're like, I'm not paying to go over to some other channel to go watch a show that I would watch for free on YouTube. So now they're trying to compete with YouTube. It's like, why don't you just make regular movies or whatever and shows? Why are you trying to jump over here in the YouTube space? Like, if you want to give it, now my thing is this, if you want to find somebody on YouTube and give them an opportunity to do a late night talk show, like I really want to show y'all this concept that a friend of mine created for me for Drinks and Drag. He all of a sudden, and I'm gonna tell you this, the other day I was literally thinking about it because I was going through my phone. I was like, oh, I was looking at old Drinks and Drag, you know, the looks and the pictures and all other stuff, like the design and all other stuff. So he actually created one of like me and a drag queen, and he had a wig on me and one, which was funny. I'm in boy clothes, but I have a wig on in one, and then there's like another thing, and it even came up with a drink in regard like our signature drink that we would drink on the show. So it was a whole concept that I don't know. The other day I was thinking about it. I know I'm jumping the gun. The other day I was thinking about it, and then yesterday while I'm watching the Odyssey, he's calling me like 6 times, and it was annoying because I'm like, I'm watching this fucking movie and you're bothering me while I'm in the theater. I'm not going to pick up my phone and watch them and talk to you while I'm watching the movie because it was dead silent in there. That's what I love about Lincoln. People respect being in the theater and watching a film. So it was like you can hear a pin drop, and they got carpet up in there. So you can hear a pin drop up in that situation. That's how quiet it was when everybody was watching. And then when the movie was done, everybody applauded. So clearly a lot of people liked it. So he's calling me or whatever, and I was like, then when I called him back, it was like, did you check your text or whatever the case is? I looked, liked the concept, and I was like, you know what? This is literally a sign for me to revive this show. So down the road, I'm probably going to be looking for a drag queen co-host to do the show with. But anyway, let's get back into the show because I feel like I'm wasting more time. This show would have been a lot shorter if he wasn't rambling. But nevertheless, that's what we do over here. So let's talk about Wendy Williams. How you doing? So Wendy is back in the news, courtesy of Sabrina Morrissey. I'm gonna say Sabrina Carpenter. So remember that little A&E documentary situation was going on, and I believe that Sabrina was there was a lawsuit because I guess she was caught up in some mess or whatever the case is. Well, apparently they have reached a settlement in the whole situation. So let's get into the story. Now, according to court documents obtained by Rolling Stone, Williams' guardian, Sabrina Morrissey, and the defendants, which include Lifetime and its parent company, A&E Network, filed a joint motion to resolve the matter, which covered the settlement agreement. The proposed attorney's fees and costs to be paid to Williams' attorneys and the proposed distribution of any settlement payment. Just days before the Dogg's 2024 release, Williams' care team revealed that she had been diagnosed with primary progressive aphasia and frontal temporal dementia. Morrissey first sued Lifetime, A&E Network, and other producers on the Dogg in February of 2024, hoping to block the film's rollout. Her effort was unsuccessful. The following September, Morrissey filed an amended complaint over the 2-part series and claimed it was made without a valid contract, while Williams was highly vulnerable and clearly incapable of consenting to being filmed, much less humiliated and exploited. And you want to know something? I will say this. I agree with Sabrina in a situation where Williams was in a highly vulnerable state, and she was incapable of consenting. She liked being on camera in the war of the crowd or whatever, but she was surrounded by a lot of people who were vultures and who did not have her best interests at heart. Because we saw when we watched the documentary, she looked a mess. She was rude and nasty to a lot of the people that she was working with. The wigs was rotted. She was out here drinking herself into a damn stupor. And even at a point where she had that big back assistant, slithered her little hooves up in there and snuck her way to LA to go audition or I guess have meetings to get another show. And they were like, no, we're good on that. We're going to pass because they probably saw the mess that Wendy was. And it's like, yeah, Wendy is great in her heyday. She definitely had the gift of gab. She definitely changed the game in daytime TV because nobody was doing it like Wendy Williams was, whether in radio and in television. However, she was not in the best state when all of this was going on. So I will agree with her on that. And I definitely feel like she was being exploited. Excuse me. The lawsuit accused A&E Network of willfully taking advantage of a severely impaired, incapacitated person and making millions from the docuseries. Excuse me. Meanwhile, the suit alleged that the former talk show host All she received was a paltry $82,000. Now, in her filing, Morrissey demanded that all the profits from Where is Wendy Williams go to Williams, who will need significant funding to provide for proper medical care and supervision for the rest of her life. The new amended complaint also alleged that the doc's producers presented the contract after Williams had been filmed while clearly disheveled, not mentally present, and confused. The suit stated that no person who witnessed WWH that's Wendy Williams Hunter, in these circumstances would possibly have believed she was capable of consenting either to an agreement to film or to the filming itself. The doc chronicled 2 years of the media personality's life as Williams faced a decline in her health that ultimately led to her being placed under court-ordered guardianship in 2022. Williams has pushed back against evaluations that have deemed her cognitively impaired and incapacitated, as well as against her court-ordered conservatorship. During an appearance on The View in March of 2025, Williams called in on her segment and expressed feeling misunderstood by her guardianship, held by Morrissey and the guardianship judge, saying, "I'm a college-educated woman, you know. I'm a global international person from radio to TV. I've been doing important things all my life, and these two people don't look like me. They don't dress like me. They don't talk like me. They don't act like me. And I venture to say they will never be me. I need them to get off my neck." Well, the problem is the fact that, you know what, sis, I know you mean well or whatever, but you need guardrails. You need something in place to keep you on the up and up and the straight and narrow. Because quiet as it's kept, Wendy can't be out here by herself. We're not going to sit up here, and as much as I love Wendy, and she is a mentor in my head, and I actually got to see my other mentor in my head the other day, Howard Stern, at the Bon Jovi concert. But Wendy, your mind ain't all the way there. You have done some things in your life, the drinking, like drinking till you pass out, how that affects your cognitiveness, your brain. It does affect you when y'all drink like that. It definitely fucks up your memory, and when you start to black out, because there's things in your mind you can't remember. Excuse me. Trust and believe, I know, because there were times where I would drink to the point where I pass out and I black out and I don't remember certain things that I've done. And so there's pieces missing. I won't say I've done it as heavily as she has, but I've been in those situations. So when you're not all the way there, it's like the people are doing what they got to do to try to help you get on the straight and narrow. And the fact of the matter is, you can't do things on your own. You need someone to go around and help you get from point A to point B, and make sure you get to your doctor's appointments and you take your medications and you do what you got to do to be, to be able to be taken care of, because you're going to be needing this health care for the rest of your life. And unfortunately, all this is going to cost a lot of money. So if Sabrina found a way to get you some coin because you were heavily taken advantage of doing that docuseries, then seems like you're going to get that money. Now, the former talk show host had echoed similar sentiments throughout the year while calling on to shows like The Breakfast Club and Good Day New York. Now, do I think she should be trapped like a damn prisoner? I don't. I do think that maybe she should be able to go out and have fun and do things. I mean, we saw the other day, happy birthday, Wendy. For her birthday, she was spotted leaving the apartment building in which she lives, and she was going to dinner. And based off of the way she was told, I was like, okay, that she's still having like little issues formulating things, whatever. It sounded like it was something that was rehearsed, and you just trying to hold on to that little piece so that way you remember it or whatever. She sounded like a lady with dementia. That's basically what I'm trying to say. So, while I don't want Wendy to be in a situation as bad as like what Britney Spears or whatever went through, I definitely think that she needs things in her life that's going to keep her on the straight and narrow. So there you have it. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story that said that Wendy's guardian has settled the legal battle over the documentary? But reading this article from, from Rolling Stone, what exactly was it that you won? Because they said that you settled. So they ended up closely watched dispute over the former television host capacity to consent to filming. So I want to know, like, okay, so they got an agreement. How much money you getting? They didn't mention it in the article. So I may have to do a little more digging. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. All right now, so let's move into this foolishness. So apparently Trump's FCC basically wants to now is coming after the homosexuals. So if y'all thought that y'all was gonna be exempt from the wrath of this stupid ass regime, you are sadly mistaken. Anybody that is an other, they are coming for. So yeah, now they want to put regulations, warning labels on Levitical Plus TV shows like we the damn Tipagore, as I used to call her Tipsy. Remember when she put them damn parental advisory stickers on the CD? They never did it on the vinyl, but she wanted that foolishness on, on the CDs or whatever the case was, because of and to me, a lot of people felt like it was a stab at, here y'all go coming after the hip hop heads and all this other stuff, and so y'all, you want to come after the hip hop community or whatever, and so this is like y'all trying to come after them, which is why a lot of people took issue with that situation. I mean, I guess we let it rock. It is what it is, because I don't know, they still put them on there, although it's ridiculous in my opinion. But after decades of hard-fought battles, to include queer characters in TV, now the FCC want to roll back all the hard work, because they're now trying to toy with the idea of adding warning labels to all TV shows with LGBTQ content. We already have something where they have like a TV MA, and they did all that crap with, like the shows for FX or whatever, to let you know strong language and nudity and violence and all that in there. Parental discretion, about like you see it in a lot of the shows. You don't really see it on Netflix and things, but you see it on like FX and things of that nature. Now, in response to the FCC's public notice considering the addition of a new warning label on family shows that include Levitical Plus characters, stories, and themes, GLAAD conducted an analysis for the public comments that were filed and discovered that 80% rejected the proposed warning labels. The FCC public notice made it clear that the government agency is targeting gender identity and transgender and gender non-binary programming, supposedly because of parental concerns. Well, here's my parental concern. How about not watching the shows? Same thing we said about the Odyssey. Y'all literally out here just don't want anybody different or an other on y'all's screen, whether it's the big or the small screen. But guess what? Everything ain't made for y'all convenience. So if you don't like it, don't watch it. Change the damn channel. But you always get those people that they don't like something, so they want everybody to not like it. And they have to let you know that they don't like it. And they don't want you to like it. So, and I'm tired of y'all always trying to hide behind the parental concerns or what about the kids and this and the other. Y'all put y'all kids through so much. Then all of a sudden when it comes to them being exposed to the gays and the trans, all of a sudden, y'all got full-on concern about the children. Like, fuck out of here with that. Now, recently, parents have raised concerns that controversial gender identity issues are being included or promoted in children's programs without providing any disclosure or transparency to parents. Specifically, well, the fact of the matter is, when you're talking about disclosure or transparency, why? Because a lot of y'all are dumb. I mean, a lot of these shows, they try to show you teachable moments in regards of what it's like to be a trans kid or whatever the case is, but because all you see is trans or non-binary or whatever, that's automatically the red flag that sends y'all in a tailspin. Because of the talking points you get from a certain a certain regime of people. Specifically, the industry guidelines that parents rely on are rating shows with trans or gender non-binary programming as appropriate for children and young children, and doing so without providing this information to parents, thereby undermining the ability of parents to make informed choices for their families. And here's the reality. A lot of times when y'all be trying to go in and let have on these kids and not wanting to expose them to things or show them things, a lot of times they sneak into watching these shows that you want these little parental situations on. When I was growing up, I used to sneak to watch all the gay stuff when it would pop up on TV. I mean, there wasn't a lot of programming, but when things popped, it was like with Queer as Folk. I used to, you hear a lot of stories. People sneak and watch that, sneak and watch Noah's Ark, all those things. Luckily for me, I would record, my parents knew. I mean, I put Queer as Folk, the Showtime series, on the box and watched it whenever I got home from school or whatever the case. I watched those shows and came home from work and all those things. So I watched it and it wasn't no problem. But I get it for those who will have that problem. So the potential warning label, even on shows that have already been rated as appropriate for all ages, comes amidst the Trump administration, or regime, sorry, because they're not an administration, growing attacks on the transgender community that include attempts to dismantle legal protections, rolling back access to gender-affirming care, kicking trans service members out of the military, and Trump's call to move inmates to prisons inconsistent with their gender identity. Now, GLAAD's in-depth analysis of the public comments sent into the FCC found that 80% of the 33,739 comments and reply comments oppose warning labels on shows with LGBTQ stories, a 5-to-1 ratio against the FCC's proposal. The nonprofit LGBTQ advocacy organization also found out while 95.8% of the 27,285 comments rejecting the FCC's proposed warning labels were unique comments written by the individuals who filed them. 57.4% of supportive comments were copied verbatim from a template, saying, quote, "This proposal will erode freedom of speech in the United States and limit the entertainment industry's ability to operate freely without government interference, disempowering parents to make the best decisions for their children and families," GLAAD wrote in a comment to the FCC on June 22nd, the deadline for public comment on the proposal. Well, here's the thing. The government should not be interfering in the entertainment aspect. We see it happening time and time again, especially when you see what's going on with The View, because now the FCC is going after them because they are anti-Trump. So literally, all this is about is Trump wants people who are going to be loyal to him to do his dirty work. Well, I hope y'all like a 6.8 size cell, because when y'all all end up going to jail for doing his foolishness, don't say we ain't trying to tell you. So this kind of like irritating. You know what? This whole time, nobody told me that I didn't have y'all comments in. So let me put that up in there. They said the FCC doesn't directly set TV ratings, despite that the public notice might lead you to believe, but it does have significant leverage over the TV Oversight Management Board, which oversees the creative and management of TV ratings that appear on broadcast, cable, and streaming programs. The Trump-era FCC has already flexed its muscle by pressuring Nexstar and Sinclair to block Jimmy Kimmel Live from appearing on owned and partner local TV stations, and CBS caved to the same pressure and canceled Stephen Colbert's The Late Show. The FCC has also used its ability to lead investigations to further President Donald Trump's agenda by investigating NBC Universal for its DEI policies, investigating a San Francisco radio station for its coverage of ICE, and launching an inquiry targeting NPR and PBS in an attempt to strip the public broadcasters of federal funding. So anytime anybody wants to learn anything or get any kind of real idea or education on what's going on in the world, he's going to punish you for it. And I kind of wish the other side would actually find their cojones and be like, you know, when we get some power, and I understand y'all don't have power in the House, y'all don't have power in the Senate, you don't have power to do all the things that you have. But when y'all get that power, and trust to believe, it seemed like the shift is going to happen during the midterms, which is why this current regime wants to place, you know, police and all these other people in a lot of these voting areas to intimidate voters so they can cheat, because that's all they're good at. Not good at winning fair and square. They do the country dirty, and now they want to do voter intimidation. But it'd be nice if when the Democrats get some power, they don't continue to do this, oh, we have to be noble, and when they go, we go high, all that crap. It's like, this is not the world in which we live in anymore. You have to get just as nasty and down in the dirt and down in the gutter as the rest of these people. And the ones who are really out here showing that they are fighting is, for example, Zoran Mamdani. And of course, when you see people like a Zoran out here fighting, that's the side of the Democrats that they hate people like him, because he's a Democrat and a democratic socialist, where he truly believes that if you are elected to do the job that the people elected you to do, you need to accomplish those things. You don't just get in there and say all the things just to get the vote, and the minute you get in, you are bought and paid for by all these little corporate conglomerates, And then you're just going to continue to, blow whoever you got to blow to keep that job until the people finally rise up and be like, nah, this heifer got to go. So it's unfortunate that we're in that situation. And that's why I said, like, the corporate centers Democrats hate people like Zoran, because he's actually showing that, you know what? I got in there, and 7 months in, me doing my job, I actually have been accomplishing some things. And they hate him for it. So I wish that when we can get to a place that when the tables turn, that people will flip everything that this man has done, dismantle everything this man has done, and go after a lot of this, like fight fire with fire, be as petty as he is, go after all the things that what he went for, flip it, and now go after the things that his people were doing, and make their life a living hell. I would be just as petty, but Democrats aren't fighters. They're not like that, so it's wishful thinking, and it's sad that we have spineless ass politicians on the Democratic side. Now, GLAAD also released the results of a new survey conducted by Morning Consult that found that roughly 2 in 3 Americans don't support these anti-LGBTQ warning labels. The survey also found that 65% of Americans and 69% of parents believe that parents should decide what is appropriate for their kids without the government requiring warning labels on TV shows that include different types of families. And almost as many agree that seeing diverse families on TV help children learn how to treat all people with kindness and respect. And then I'm like, I know that's crazy to believe, but yes, when you see different types of people, whether they're LGBTQ, same-sex family members, people of color, different races, ethnicities, whatever you want to call it, people do realize, and we have seen this happen, that when you are introduced to people that are different through a TV show, whatever the case is, people show that they have real empathy for that person. So whatever happened to treating people who are different than you with kindness and respect? But that's not what they want. They want to hit y'all with all these distractions because of what's going on, especially this Iran war in which we are losing. We're losing a lot of our military because of this idiot who wants to go out here and do that stupid little dance that he does and make appearances at soccer matches and play golf and all the other craziness while lives are being lost for a war that you started. So this is where we are. But they want to distract y'all with warning labels on queer programming. When it's like, leave it up to the parents to decide what they want their kids to watch and not watch. I mean, before I even knew what all the letters of the LGBTQ community was, my parents decided for me what I could and couldn't watch when I was a kid growing up in the 80s and 90s. So why is it an issue now? Now they be in the 2020s. Parents don't know how to raise their kids today. Anyway, look, if they're going to put a warning label on anything, can y'all come at least put a warning label for Trump whenever his ugly, orange, fat, sweaty mug pops up on my TV screen instead of this damn mess? That's what we need. We need a warning label on this ugly motherfucker. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this mess that these people are still trying to come up with and floating this idea? It ain't going to work because the people ain't here for it. And it just goes to show that there are way more people in America that are open-minded than these slow, closed-minded morons that continue to get most of the attention through our compromised corporate mainstream media. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. If LGBTQ plus is that much of a straight person's mind, then okay. That's it. Look, exactly. And you want to know, so that's why I shout out to Hunter Biden, because I saw that interview he did with Jennifer Welch. And was talking about the gay mafia that's going around. It's like, yeah, there is a mafia in the whole political landscape. They all know who they are, where they can't be themselves, so they want to go around and make everybody's life miserable, which is why they create all these legislations, because they can't be themselves, so they want y'all to suffer. Oh, if I can't have it, you can't either. Oh, we out here living our life while you sit up in there having to pay for sex in your hotel room while you pretend to be married to that trad wife. Benny Johnson, allegedly. I'm curious to see how 2028 president debates are going to occur if they air on CBS. I can already picture it. Foolishness, okay? Especially with that four-eyed See You Next Tuesday, Barry White's running things. Every smart TV and streaming service has parental controls. That's another thing, too. They all got parental controls and stuff. Look, that is true because, and funny enough, I wasn't thinking about it. You even got parental controls on YouTube. So, there's a lot of parental controls and stuff that's on stuff. You don't necessarily need a parental control situation. I mean, you don't need to have the government stepping in. I do agree with you that it is posturing. So, but I totally forgot about that. And I feel like because I don't have kids, I don't really be paying attention to the parental control thing. But yes, if I go on any of my streaming services, if I want to create something, literally, if I want to create a hub, be it on Hulu, Disney, what else? Amazon Prime. If I create any of those little hubs on there, they do have a parental thing on there. So yes, you can create that if you want to keep your kids from wanting to watch something that you don't want them to watch. I mean, he'd be the main one. That need to be criminalized. I just saw a post on Facebook about Prince and his song Darling Nikki for Purple Rain being used as a reason to need. How old is that damn song? Meanwhile, their kids are Darling Nikki. Okay. Notice how the top 3 most banned books in America are about queer kids discovering their sexuality identity. I would sneak around and watch Caswell music videos as a kid. Shout out to Caswell, who's out in LA right now. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, so now speaking of TV, Chair. Let's talk about Big Brother. So apparently there's some drama going on in Big Brother. I will admit I have not been watching the season. So I mean I do know Selena S. Titties is on there. But yeah, there's some drama brewing because apparently there's some MMA fighter who's such a man. Oh, he's so masculine. Made a couple of drag-phobic comments on the show that has rubbed some people the wrong way. So Big Brother 28, season 28 star Camel Kirk, that's your name, Camel, was captured on cameraman making anti-drag remarks during the reality competition show's live feeds in a house he's currently sharing with fellow house guests and RuPaul's Drag Race alum Selena S. Titties. Now, I will play the clip, but it's CBS and I don't want to get demonetized, and I have to edit it out, but I heard the clip and it was whatever. So now during a discussion that occurred over the weekend, the MMA fighter and Survivor alum Rick Devins engaged in a conversation reacting to another house guest, Drew Campbell, wearing a set of unicorn-themed pajamas. Saying, "Are those dudes dressed in women's clothes?" Devins asked. Kurt replied, confirming that he was also asked to wear a pair of the garments. He said, "I was with them. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not doing that, bro." Kirk said, and they came in with the bro talk, while Devins then referenced house guest Jason Dupuy, who first competed on Drag Race Season 15 under the aforementioned drag name, upon saying, "Not until Jason is head of household." So Kirk continued, "I said, bro, miss me with that drag stuff. Miss me. I'm still an MMA guy and I have an image to uphold." Devins responded, telling Kirk that's tough after the fighter's comments. So that's annoying. I was like, so that's what this is about. It's not even about whether or not he's doing the drag stuff. The fact of the matter is you're so narrow-minded that you're looking at it as that drag is feminine. It's a man getting in touch with his feminine side and doing feminine things, which you're not, as a man, you're going to be tough all the time. You can't show emotion. You can't cry. You can't do all those things. Because I'm a man. I've got a lot of tattoos and I beat people up for a living. I'm a man. Okay. It's like, please. Quiet as it's kept, as high-pitched as Jason's voice is, and even though he do drag, he can be annoying. He has more man on that show than you'll ever be. And you don't tussling around with men, grinding crotches and butts and things, doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu. That ain't gay. There's a lot of things when you look at in MMA that's a little gay. But you sit there worrying about what he's doing because it's following the sports and athletes and things of that nature, because that makes you a man. That just makes you a man who's uncomfortable in his skin. Because a real man wouldn't give a damn what Selena is over here doing outside of the show. And mind you, Selena hasn't done like what they be doing on House of Villains, which is you would see some of the Drag Race girls who've competed on the show coming out in drag. Jason's been Jason the whole show. So he hasn't come out wearing the drag regalia and the wigs and pumping around the house for y'all entertainment, which I'm glad he's not doing, because then it becomes something else. It becomes more of a minstrel show. And this is what I'm looking at from the network standpoint. So, of course, the conversation drew criticism from actor and Big Brother season 16 alum Frankie Grande, one of Selena's close friends, who slammed Kirk's words on social media, saying, what the F is this horse-ish? Get these homophobic bigots out of the effing house immediately. Grande said, both of them. Ew, this conversation makes me sick to my stomach. I'm disgusted. This better be the biggest thing ever when I wake up tomorrow, or I'm flipping the table. F word, ew, gross. Okay, now he's Teresa Judex about flipping the table. Now, Grande later walked back his criticism of Devins, writing, okay, I concede there is not enough info in the clip to understand Devins' motivations. Hopefully he was just I think he meant tapping, but spelled it taping. Hopefully he was just tapping into Camel's energy for game reasons. Regardless, men behaving in a repulsed or shocked way when a man dresses feminine or in women's clothing is homophobic, period. Well, here's the thing. That kind of annoys me, that if you just try to rile somebody up for strategy for strategy reasons, I'm not going to go along because I want your vote or something down the road. Like, if I'm in a house with someone who's an other, me personally, I don't give a goddamn about the votes or whatever, or strategy, whatever. I'm going to check you, boo. And I'm going to say something. It's like, nah, that's not cool, whatever the case is. And I think everything ain't got to be a damn strategy. But that's the way people think. Everything is about strategy and votes and wanting to stay on long on TV shows, whatever the case is. Now, on Tuesday, Grande also replied to a clip of the moment on social media calling the exchange homophobic incarnate. Now, some fans even called on other Big Brother stars to speak up against Kirk's comments, but only a couple have actually said anything so far. So we have one person that said, BB Ducky said, people really defending Camel on this? Well, hold on, I might have to open this because it's a long one. It said, people really defending Camel on this? I really don't care to hear about you having an image to uphold and this critical Christian high ground-ish when you sign up for a show based on lies and manipulation. Jason hasn't done drag in the house. Camel can shove his homophobia right up his ass. So that was one. Another one says, told you this MFer was a flop. This is disgusting behavior and the opposite of masculinity. Nobody's forcing you to get in drag. Nobody's forcing you to wear unicorn pajamas. And if you don't want to wear it, you could just shut the fuck up. I mean, that's a fact. Oh, and then somebody posted a clip of what he said and said, this probably goes really hard if you're stupid. Hashtag Big Brother 28. Another person said, not even a big Jason fan, but notice how none of the alumni are talking about this. The other person said, I think it's absolutely right and fair to criticize Camel for this, particularly given what we know of his social media history. The dude is gross and definitely seems to be a bigot, but I don't understand, including Devins, the way some folks, not the OP, are doing. Well, I don't know. I guess maybe they feel like they want to give Devins an excuse. I'm guessing that's what I'm taking from that last sentence. They said, but I don't understand, including Devins, the way some folks are doing. So that maybe he wasn't going as bad. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what his character is or how they've come across because I haven't been watching the show. So I don't know how to respond to that last part. But the fact of the matter, when people saying that Camel, of course, UFC, and it's sad that the UFC fighters usually get this stereotype that it's like, yeah, y'all athletes. When you associate UFC, now it's associated with Trump. You already know what Trump's ideologies are and the type of like all that hate and vitriol that man has in his body and wants the world to reflect that. And the fact that Camel was known for making a lot of disgusting, disparaging, bigoted comments on social media. So now you're on a reality show doing this foolishness. So they said that other drag performers have spoken out against anti-trans and anti-LGBTQ social and political sentiment in the U.S., particularly amid a recent Supreme Court decision to uphold 2 states' laws barring trans women from women's sports in Idaho and West Virginia. The decision is heartbreaking for many in our community. Drag Race Selena's season 15 sister and eventual winner, Sasha Colby, previously told EW of the judicial move. As a trans woman, I know how important it is to feel seen, valued, and accepted for who you are. Every young person deserves a chance to grow, dream, and participate without fear of being made to feel like they don't belong. So there you have it. And unfortunately, this is a damn mess. So I'll say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Have y'all been watching Big Brother? What is the full context of the situation? I just took what I took from the situation. I watched the clip and I just responded to based off of what I saw. And it just seems like this, like, if you don't like drag, then don't do drag. It's that simple. Don't put on a dress. Don't put on unicorn pajamas. If that's not your bag, then it's not your bag. But now y'all want to go around and making it a whole storyline because you're boring and you have nothing going for you on this show. So you need to make something, create drama at the expense of someone else. So I definitely want to hear from y'all in regards to this story. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right. Let's see what the people saying. I'm still an MMA fighter. I have an image on hold. Sir, you get in the ring in boy shorts to fight with other men. I'm looking at his beard and tats. A lot of hype. Okay, that's a lot of it, what it is. Share the clip. Hold on, because if I have to... If I have to delete it, I'll get rid of it. But I mean, I could put it in this segment because that's like during this during the hot topics thing, so I could just cut that piece out and call it a day. But yeah, it's like 26 seconds. I'll pull it up real quick. Wait, where's it? I got it. Yeah, it's this one.
Dude,
Are those dudes dressed in women's clothes?
bro, that's
Drew dressed in women's pajamas.
That's Drew dressed in Mallory's other unicorn pajamas. There was a third pair, and he's like, I was with them. I'm like, I'm not doing that, bro.
Not until Jason's HOH.
I told him, I said, bro, miss me with the drag stuff. Miss me with the. I said, I'm still an MMA guy, and I'm used to uphold. All right,
that's tough. That's
dude.
Are those dudes dressed in?
I don't know. I just feel like that if the other guy, he pretty much seemed like he was equally getting into the thing. I don't know. Maybe you were doing it to stir the pot or, you know, whatever. But it seemed like you was real engaged in that conversation. So I don't think like he should be getting excused from the situation either. So maybe that's what that person meant in that last clip. That was like, yeah, you shouldn't be excused for it either because you was equally participating in the mess. So if you're going to equally participate in the mess, regardless of whatever your ulterior motives are, you getting the lashing too. Speaking of lashings, let's talk about Mistress Isabel Brooks, who finally spilled tea on why she and Sasha Colby don't see it for each other. So the other day, Mistress Isabel Brooks did a show over on her YouTube channel, you know, Mistress Mondays, that sort of thing, where she just shook the table and just put all her business stuff out there. Will answer a lot of questions from a lot of her fans and all that other stuff. And one of the main questions a lot of people was coming at her with was, why does she and Sasha not get along? So on July 20th, 2026, drag performer and season 15 finalist Mistress Isabel Brooks uploaded a long-form video on her YouTube channel titled Coming Clean, which has quickly ignited conversations across the Levitical Plus community and drag fandom. Now, in the nearly 20-minute address, Brooks specifically addressed the persistent rumors of a fractured relationship between herself and the reigning mother of all mothers, Sasha Colby. The video comes after months of speculation regarding why the two high-profile queens, who both reached the top 4 of their original season, appeared to have a falling out following subsequent television appearances and social media interactions. But of course, and then previous to that, Mistress decided to play in the middle of the drama between Silky Nutmeg Ganache and her All-Stars 11 sister, Akira Davenport. So she started out by saying, there's literally no tea between me and Sasha. I think some people need to realize there's going to be people in your life that don't like you for whatever reason. And Mistress, who also competed on All Stars 10, said, I have no issue with Sasha Colby. I don't feel like I've done anything to Sasha Colby, but it is what it is. She also said, there are so many reasons why someone could not like me. I'm crazy, manic at times. I have no problem owning my part of anything. And with all that being said, I can honestly say 100%, I've never done anything to Sasha. I've never talked bad about Sasha. I've never stopped Sasha's bag. I've never spoken bad about Sasha in a room she's not in. I have no problem being a bigger person. But the fact of the matter is, I've never publicly spoken on the situation because I haven't done anything to her. And I think she knows that. She also went on to say, there have been many things that this person has done to me that I have never done to you, and what I would never do to you. I hold no ill will towards you, especially with the things you've done to me. You know what you've done to me. It's some real foul, nasty-ish, but I have let this person slide because I have so much respect for them, and I know that they deal with their own issues, which means that you got people within your circle, Sasha, that's telling Mistress your business. And Mistress knows your tea. That's why you can't be trusting these hoes out here. Mistress again claimed that she doesn't know why Sasha apparently doesn't like her. Now, she went on to suggest it may be all drawn to a Twitter post after the season finale, because remember when Sasha and Anitra did Knock on Wood, which I will say this, the Knock on Wood performance on the recent episode of All Stars was way better than what Sasha and Anitra was doing over there in that finale. Because I will agree with Mistress. That finale performance was lackluster. How many more times are we going to see Anitra do a goddamn duck walk? And Sasha kind of did the thing where she pulled a little bone thing out of her dress and stepped out of it, and the dress was still standing. She was crawling all over her coat, giving puss and whipping the hair around. It was like, okay, it was just signature performances, but I just feel like, in a way, it was probably the fault of production, because why did y'all pick that song for them to lip sync to? So Mistress had, quote, replied to a post which she had branded one of the best lip syncs in the entire franchise, saying she disagreed. She said, for anyone who actually watched season 15, when we had Anitra versus Sasha to I'm in Love with the Monster, one of the best lip syncs ever. Let me say, Sasha Colby is one of the best drag performers ever. I've only ever given this bitch her props. Even if I'm throwing shade or cutting up, whatever it was, what does it effing matter to you? You literally won the show. Mistress, well, because she's an artist and she's sensitive about her shit. So it's like, maybe to her, she doesn't care that, okay, yeah, I won. But at the end of the day, now you spewing negativity, because I guess maybe she's looking at it from you, while you're looking at it as like, oh, I'm just spilling tea and I'm keeping it real, whatever the case is. People are looking at it, you just being messy. You just trying to shit on my situation. So maybe that's what the way she's coming from at it. But you won't know this because y'all not sitting down having these conversations. She also mentioned that she got Mistress blocked from the group chat that they was on. From, because each of the queens, they all have their own little season. They have their own little group situation. She said she got her blocked from that. And also stopped her bag. So there were gigs that they were supposed to be on together, a traveling gig, and Sasha had her kicked off the gig. So Mistress claimed that social media post was a catalyst to their falling out, and she since heard from other Drag Race girls and really notable people who are both friends with that. They're both friends with that Sasha can't stand her, and she gets really, really upset when Mistress is brought up. She said, I would tell them, I don't know why she doesn't like me, she said, adding, I guess because I have my own opinions and I don't go, mother, like, I don't care. I'm not going to blow smoke up someone's ass. To me, you and I are the same person. So I will say this, Sasha has not, since this post, has not responded. And I don't think she will. I mean, I wish she would just come out there and say what you want, but she probably like, you know what, I'm not going to give this girl energy because this is what Mistress wants. Mistress thrives on this type of attention. She thrives on this type of drama. This is going to make her coin over there on the Patreon or whatever the case is. So I'm not even giving this lady the satisfaction. But I do feel this. If you don't like somebody, stay far away from them. Don't try to go out of your way to do demonic things. But, oh, I don't want, if you're going to put me on a bill with this bitch, I'm not going to be a part of it. And then now people got to make an executive decision, be like, well, sorry, mistress, all that weight you lost, you're just going to have to lose another bag because Sasha don't want to work with you. So mistress seems to be definitely having a resurgence, like a real stagnant career over there, or a stable career, I should say, with doing her YouTube show on a Patreon and all other stuff. So she's making her coins and she's still out here performing or whatever. But I guess right now this is going to remain a mystery on why they don't like each other. But it could be all those things that Mistress mentioned. Maybe it's the fact that you said some messy things and Sasha just don't like you because you just be messy. And that's fine. Everybody don't like everybody out here. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story regarding the Mistress Isabel Brooks, Sasha Colby beef? Whatever your thoughts are on this matter, let me know in the comments. And who team you on? Are you hashtag MIB? Okay, y'all being messy. Or your hashtag Team Sasha. So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. I think Sasha's one of the greatest drag performers to ever step on stage, but people are so far up her ass. This woman got a queen kicked out of a tour. But sure, let's bootleg her and call her mother. Yeah, that's what I'm like. Well, first of all, if you're going out of your way to stop my bag and you doing real shady shit to me behind the scenes, I'm not kissing your ass to get along with you. Because you literally was out here fucking with my money. And to me, that's messy. Because I'm like, I don't do anything with you. If you don't like me, okay, then you don't got to like me. We could be on the same bill together. I'll be on one side of the room. You'll be on the other side of the room. But when you get to a point where you go on to producers or whoever and tell them that, oh, it's me, my way or the highway, or it's either her or me, make a choice, you ain't going to have much long for this world as a career person. And we already know, like, Sasha is your favorite drag queen, where she is well revered and respected within the drag race world. Or not even the drag race world, just the drag world, period. Like, people outside of the drag race world knew who she was before she stepped into that room. And the minute she stepped in that room during her season, everybody was like, okay, might as well just give her the damn $200,000, the scepter and the crown, because we already know Sasha won. But then we should also ask, why does Mistress have a very long out list? Love her down. She's in my top favorite drag queens of all time. But what has she done to make all these people dislike her? Exactly. I was like, you probably, like, you think all this being messy, whatever, is cute. Not everybody likes all of that. There's some people who are genuinely nice, like to come in, do the job, perform, whatever, and go home. Not everybody likes getting caught up in bullshit. Not everybody likes instigating and being caught up in drama and stuff. If that's your thing, then you keep that over there. Not everybody wants to entertain that. That's not part of everybody's ministry. And she needs to understand it as well. You being messy for a moment, that's cute for you. But everybody ain't for that. Because you do have to ask yourself, why is it that a lot of queens don't like you? And now that you created this monster, you know, with this platform and being messy all the time, you got to keep that momentum up. It gets a little old and tired after a while. Anyway, now, let's get into our final drag topic, and our final topic in general. And let's talk about this drama going on where there's a big controversy surrounding drag queens from Drag Race not getting into drag when they do when they do drag. Because apparently a lot of y'all have a problem with seeing Bob and Monet and all the other girls running around here out of their drag regalia. Me personally, well, I'll get my thoughts on it after the fact. I don't mind it too much. I mean, I think within reason, there's wait, what's going on? I was trying to upload something and it did not want to work. So yeah, let's see if it works again. Okay, there it is. I don't know. When I was trying to put the thing in, it didn't want to work the first time. So anyway, let's get into the tea. So, we love us some Drag Race for two reasons: the fierce looks and the messy drama. Now, it seemed like the looks and the drama is the reason why all this is going on now. So in case y'all been out of a loop, Luscious Massacre, Bob the Drag Queen, and Monet X Change have been playfully feuding over whether or not drag queens should attend events out of drag. Now, what started out as an offhanded remark on a podcast has turned into an ongoing controversy with other Rue girls weighing in and the general public taking sides in comment sections. But why are the queens battling it out? Well, I have a clip of Luscious Massacre having a conversation with Bob on his what is it called? Only Child podcast, which is a part of First Studios. So hold on, let me make sure I got all my clips, Chad. All right. So let's get into that clip. We're going to play that clip and we're going to come back and we're going to talk. Please hold.
That I am willing to die on. I do not like it when drag queens get to a point where they feel like they're so famous, they don't have to get in drag anymore. I don't like it, Bob. I find it like you did everything that you needed to do to get to this point, and now you're like, well, I don't need to get in drag anymore. I don't like that. Somebody's got to get up and drag. We have to entertain the children. The whole purpose of what we're doing here is to be drag queens. And I don't like these drag queens now that they think they're so famous. Now they get to just be men, just dudes. That is a hill that I'm willing to die on. I don't like it.
Who's gonna be the girls?
There's so many.
Wait, are you talking about me?
There's so many girls that now they just don't get in drag anymore.
I do drag.
I don't like it.
What? Okay, to be clear, I do drag. I do drag. Like,
when's the last time you did drag, bitch?
2 nights ago. I did 4 shows this weekend with a photo documented proof.
And we're here on the pod, and she is a man, just giving male.
How?
The male presentation. I don't like it.
I do drag.
My hill that I am willing to die on. I do not like it.
Okay, so she read you down, Bob, but that was cute. Jinx said, this is going to be the next viral lip sync if we're lucky. Altra the Queen said, I do drag, and they did a laugh emoji. Coco Montree said, is she coming for Rue? Because, Rue don't get in drag either. Somebody said, is that a Misty wig? Misty G wig. The other person, I do drag, followed by a delicate sip of a drink with an ever so subtle, Then, of course, Johnny Sibley's in the comments. Sincerely, Lutfi, not she came to insult you on your platform. Why not? Angelica Ross up in the comments with a laugh and a heart emoji. Apollonia Cruz, who I do know, said what she just said. But I do agree. I feel like in certain situations, if your platform is drag, then you should be doing drag. I definitely believe that you should be up there doing drag if it's a paid gig and you're performing, whatever the case is. Even if you're doing your podcast, and I just see it the other day, Monet Exchange, I think, did an interview with Detox. That one just dropped today, I believe. Monet was in drag, but there's sometimes she'll do the pod in drag, and then there's sometimes she'll do the pod out of drag. So she mixes it up. But I think people have a problem because they always feel like you need to be putting in looks all the time. Now, for those who are not familiar, Luscious Massacre was a makeup artist on Drag Race Mexico and won an Emmy for her work on We're Here. So that's in case y'all wonder who she's from, and she's everywhere now. Now, on a red carpet interview without Ricky Cornish, Luscious put a final point on the debate when she brought up drag as resistance in the face of the current political climate. So of course I got that clip too. Let's play that one, and we will come back and talk again. Please hold.
And I think right now the girls are devolving. Maybe it's time to, take a break and then come back when you're ready to get in drag. Because we need you to get in drag, little girls. This country needs more drag queens. We don't need less. With everything going on in this country, I need these men to get in drag, sweetie. And I think right now the girls are
when she said that with the follow-up, some people say, hey, listen up. Mandatory meetings up in there crying. And then Pride Site said the girls are devolving, not evolving. And he said, I do not like it, Bob. Ricky Corner said she clocked the girls. And another person said the drag prophets have spoken and we had better listen. Another person, I need these men to get in drag. She meant that shit. And then Laganja Estrada is in the comments. Oh, so look, I need these men to get in drag. Luscious is hilarious. So I am sitting here living for this messy ass shade. But with all that being said, I should say that Bob did do a little clapback situation, which was quite hilarious, and decided to release a song called I Do Drag, where she clapped back at in the music video showing her in a comic book style fight with Luscious. So, Bob, who won his season, which was season 8, reads Luscious fulfilled with the line, I was doing drag, you was shitting in a diaper, before calling her out for being a fan. Bitch talking about it's giving man. Bitch, you forgot you're the motherfucking fan. Now, in the song, Bob also says she's not going to go through the effort of getting in drag unless she's getting paid to do so. Don't get dressed unless I see the bag, she raps, and reminds Luscious that she's been doing drag for decades. Don't speak words on me, shush. I was doing drag under President Bush. So there's that song. And my thing is, with Bob, I'll agree to a point. It's like, unless I'm getting paid to do it, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to show up. Like, for example, if I'm on a red carpet, which we've seen Bob on red carpets, Monet on red carpets, and when I was doing the drag race thing, there will be some of the girls that get up and geesh, but I think those are more or less the queens that's on the upcoming seasons. Any veterans, y'all don't necessarily got to get all glammed up. I remember Miss Vanjie got in full glam, but what the hell is his name? Candy Muse always shows up in boy drag. I've never seen Candy Muse show up on a carpet at the drag race event in girl drag. She's always been in her boy clothes. And if I'm not working, if you're not paying me to be there, whatever, I'm not getting in full drag. And RuPaul, I believe, is the one that started all that. Ru is the one that started, if y'all not paying me to get in drag, I'm not putting the clothes on. So I think that's where a lot of the girls are getting their rules from. So Monet, who won All Stars 4, picked up the debate in a video posted on YouTube on July 20th, where she addressed the growing controversy and said, if I sell you a ticket to my show, that's a promise to be in drag. But when you go to the Spider-Man movie premiere, that's the entertainer's preference to show up however they want to be. Tom Holland could be wherever he wants to be on that day, and that's his prerogative. And I think that simply is not true for drag queens. And not for nothing, check the material, baby. The look is eating in or out of drag. Well, here's the thing also. I don't know if Tom Holland's a good comparison, because Tom's an actor. Tom is someone who doesn't go and pop up at little clubs or, venues or whatever and putting on full drag shows. That's not Tom's ministry. Tom is an actor. So he auditions or gets offered roles now. I don't think he has an audition. He gets offered roles and he either says yay or nay, shows up on a movie set, embodies that character. Excuse me. And when it's time to promote the film, he's showing up as Tom Holland. So are you saying when you're on the red carpet, you not Candy Muse or you not Monet Exchange? We need to call you by, what's his name, Kevin? We got to call you by your government name? Because that's who you are on this red carpet. You not Monet? Because we only know you as your drag name. We don't know your government. Because that's not how you're presenting. Now, RuPaul, we know RuPaul because RuPaul uses his government. And because his name is so unique, he didn't even need to come up with a drag name. His name is basically his money maker. And how he created this whole drag empire with Drag Race. So I don't know. It's different. But I kind of understand, but I don't know if that was a good analogy. So, yeah. So now what other Ru girls have said, Nikki Doll being one of them, because she took a picture with Jackie Cox, who I heard was the first eliminator on Drag Race Canada versus the world. And Candy Muse said, when I'm in drag at Stop That Train movie was incredible. Go get your ticket immediately. And if you don't feel like getting in geesh, get yourself your I'm in drag shirt. After all, we are all born naked and the rest is drag, right? So they they showed up on the red carpet wearing an I'm in drag shirt, which I guess I could show y'all. And I was like, that's cute that y'all was showing up in this whole little outfit. Because I'm like, that makes a point. It's like, yeah, I'm in drag. That'll shut everybody up. Satan, Raja said, I need one. Cynthia Lee Fontaine loved it. The big boy Ben. Hope y'all run a little coin to Luscious Massacre for shaking the table y'all standing on. Ooh. Another person, the Plain Jane said, what a brave form of protest. Thank you for representing the lazy community. Another person said, like Luscious Massacre said, we need drag on display right now, not you profiting off her message while playing in her face. Now, somebody wrote at Luscious Massacre, look at these bricks. So another person said, I'm not a professional drag queen, so I can't judge or say anything. So I will quote All Stars 2 winner Alaska Thunderfuck. If you're not wearing nails, you're not doing drag. So look, at the end of the day, it's up to them to decide how they want to present. It's going to be an ongoing debate. If they don't want to get in drag, they don't want to get in drag. But then I ain't got to give you my money. So now they want to get, this is why I hate the way they put this article, because now they talk about why Monet and Bob getting hate from the fans. So Bob and Monet have been appearing out of drag for years on their podcast and at red carpet events. Not since we talking about them. They even show up without their drag personas to an event for Stop That Train. The debate raged on in some comment section under the photo from the event, with some fans agreeing with Luscious and reading them for filth for showing up out of drag and others defending them. The controversy seems to boil down to two things. Drag queens are famous for their drag personas, and so they should show up in drag, with other people arguing that they don't need to go through all that unless they're getting paid to be in drag. This is an argument to be made that the two rose to fame on a reality TV show hosted by a drag queen who spends half of every episode out of drag, but people in the comments were quick to point out that they are not as famous as RuPaul Charles, and no one knows their real names. Didn't I say that? I literally said that. I was like, you're not, RuPaul made a name for himself as RuPaul. And even back then, before RuPaul's Drag Race and stuff, RuPaul was showing up everywhere in drag. He did his talk show in drag. Not the later talk show, but the one on VH1. He showed up at award shows in drag. Everywhere you went, RuPaul was in full-on drag geesh. Because I think in his mind at the time, he felt that that's what he had to do because that was the persona that he created. So he walked a long mile for y'all to get comfortable where y'all are at. But a lot of y'all are just regular smell. Yeah, okay, Bob did a couple of things with Madonna. Whoop-de-doo. Congratulations. Hooray for you. And Monet's done a couple of things. But I do agree. Y'all are not famous enough that y'all can just do this whole distinction of, I'm not going to get up and drag. We see Willem and Alaska get up and drag when they do their podcasts and things. I mean, there's times where, you will see Alaska not in drag. But for the most part, I don't know. This is going to be a long ass debate. But I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story? Do you think that drag queens are obligated to, like, if that's the persona that you created, if you are Monet Exchange, if you are Bob the Drag Queen, if you are Nikki Doll, if you are all these other queens, should you be obligated that every time y'all walk out y'all door and y'all doing any kind of press or an event or something that has to do in the industry, then yes, you need to be glammed up in your drag clothes. Y'all can't be running around here like Rose, or another one I saw at the last Drag Race premiere, who was in her Drag Race, who was in regular clothes. It took me a second to realize who it was. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Hold on, why is this thing not moving? If I see their drag name on the title, Monet Talks, the Bald and the Beautiful Mistress Monday, I'm expecting to see a queen. Monet is not all that interesting when I see that bald, shiny head of his. Well, look, he probably was interesting when he did that Detox interview, which I definitely want to watch. Do you think this speaks on the growing performative masculinity that's becoming so prevalent, not just in the homosexual community, but in the Big Brother house? What happened to all the femme homosexuals? Exactly. It's like, I thought we was all supposed to be about embracing our femininity and all these other things. And we've seen countless times that straight men who get glammed up and dressed in drag, especially on Drag Race, how it opens their mind up to expressing their feminine side or whatever the case is. So I don't understand the whole, yeah, it definitely gives performative masculinity. And like, y'all are just afraid to just be yourselves. Like, we get it. Y'all had to deal with a lot of stuff growing up, especially like the feminine aspects, and your family is not like truly embracing and supporting you and all that other stuff. But at the end of the day, you got to live your life and do you. You can't worry about what other people think. I just don't understand. But yeah, this is definitely true. That none of these queens are famous enough to be stepping out in boy clothes and still expect to be recognized. They're the definition of gay famous. That's exactly what they are. Because it's like, y'all not famous. Like regular straight people know. I said regular straight people. Straight people know who RuPaul is. They know who RuPaul was before RuPaul's Drag Race. So RuPaul's name is synonymous with everybody know who that is. None of them know who Bob the Drag Queen is or Monet Exchange is outside of their little gay circle. I think the feminine ones are hiding because of the administration. They got so comfortable with DL men, said go back in the closet. We're the only country founded on religion. Well, people are stupid. That's like, I can't sit up here and allow society to tell y'all how to live your life. And yeah, it does definitely seem like under this current regime that people are afraid to be their authentic selves. But speaking of authentic selves, I'm about to get my authentic ass off this damn show because we are at the end of today's show. So I want to thank you all for tuning in to the latest episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Once again, hit the like, subscribe, smash the like button, subscribe, smash the notification bell, all that good stuff. Hype the channel. I will be back next week. It's going to be a long weekend, y'all. I ain't going to be out of work until Tuesday. Hopefully. Cause yeah, I'm gonna be pretty busy this weekend. I got the last Bon Jovi show, I got Fish, I got all these different shows that's coming up. So it's gonna be a crazy weekend, and the only time I'm gonna have off is next Tuesday. So yeah, I'll be back with a brand new episode. That's why I wanted to get this one in. And yeah, a lot of gay men refuse to drop family and friends. Well, I've got a lot of my friends, and my thing is, yeah, it's definitely hard to let go of certain family and everything. But that's why the good thing about our community is that you create your family wherever you can. But yes, we'll talk about the Charlie XCX album next week, among whatever other albums supposed to be coming out. We'll have to look into that. But yeah, see y'all next week with a brand new episode. Have a great weekend, a long, beautiful weekend, and all that good stuff. And until next time, ciao, darlings.